I'm still eating.
Music though.
Stop the recording!
It is. It's going. Now what?
Ah, ah!
Don't Rick out.
I don't remember what
That's not
happened.
good.
Actually, that's a
There.
smart days professional.
Yeah.
Alright, we got into a fight. To summarize in the most briefest of terms. We got the help of Miss Correa. We went to a warehouse district so that way we could get some, details on Matthias and on, his operations and shit. We got into a fight. We snuck through the alleyway. We kicked the ass of some goblins. Then we went into the fucking warehouse. We got into a fight with the bugbear lady after we tried to be stealthy with a cat. She got suspicious. She tried to attack the cat. It did not work. And a brawl happened. We tried not to kill people. We ended up killing some people. We managed to mostly subdue her, but then we had the help of a very slippery, fast-moving tiny creature who goes by the name of Mr. Violence. And then after that, the fair children got involved. And we met with an inquisitor, and at that point we were already kind of low on health. Some people were unconscious, particularly Floss was dying. And yeah, admin effectively talked her down to where saying, hey, we can work together, you can have some use for us. Basically trying to save his skin and everyone else's skin, because they're not in a position to fight her. And then Correa disappeared with the bugbear we were trying to get for questioning. And luckily we were left alive. And after that, yeah, we just started making our way back. I'm sure I've missed details, but that's just the gist of it.
Hey, pretty good. I have
One
since
point inspiration for me. Just
you already have one. So instead, I think an alternative. There should be a reward structure for doing recap well. So I will reach into my DM toolbox and I will pull a special thing out for you that I know you're gonna hate. Here, have 1 luck point, as if the lucky feat.
Oh, Edmund gets that.
Yes. You just have that now.
let me delete my character.
I've just given you like the.
Anyways,
Well, take your time.
did we actually take a long rest? I do not remember that.
Well, you wouldn't have. I don't know if you actually. Well, you leveled up, so you would have to take a long rest to apply your level up.
You're right, we did level
Oh,
up.
we did level up.
Yes.
So I would be healed then.
Yeah, I mean, all of you would have gone home, and after you would have dispersed into the night after having that fight, and you would have been able to take a rest wherever you feel comfortable taking a rest, and now you are level dos.
Add custom item.
It's gonna add a luck point into your inventory.
Basically.
Just look. Huh. It is an icosahedron is what a luck point is. That's not a good joke. So on the the immediate following day, Edmund, you have a thing. Do you recall the thing you have?
I don't think it does. I don't quite recall either.
Let's let him do his little thing.
Alrighty. It has been added, Mr. DM.
All right. What have you? Did you? Thank you. Good. Yep, correct. You have to deal with this now. So, Dylan, do you remember the thing that you have? That you received?
Let me double
Luck
check.
No.
The luck point, yes, unfortunately.
Yep.
Now, if you're referring to the calling card I was given, yes.
Okay, good. That's seeing as that's the most immediate thing. Like, are you gonna give that a few days? Are you gonna do it like as soon as you get up in the morning? Are you gonna do it before you even go to bed at night?
I'd probably not do it at night. I'll go to bed first, shake off my nerves. I'll
Bullet
wake
wounds.
up. Yeah, that too. Because after I take a long rest, I can feel the bullets just slowly like sliding out. I actually didn't really get to hear that. Oh, I did get hit once by a shotgun point blank, so
Yes.
I'll just wake up and just find my bed filled with pellets from how they'll just slide out. That's how it works with long rest.
Exactly.
And I'll go to my little dial-up phone.
Okay. You probably wouldn't own a phone yourself, but there would be a like a booth, like a pay phone outside where you could make a call for like 1 copper.
Yeah, okay, I'll remove 1 copper from my inventory.
Okay.
I only have silver pieces. That's a problem.
Yeah. You could probably make change somewhere. There's shops around.
So remove 1. Add 9 copper. I'll just put a copper in and it's like take the card. And I just like 10 minutes later.
You are able to call into the campus, and with the proper operator extension numbers, yada yada yada. It'll take you'll be on hold for a little bit, but after like 10 minutes of putting in the number and then another like 10 minutes of waiting, you will eventually over the receiver like a hello, Edmund, is that you?
Yes, this is Edmund speaking. I've been told to contact this number.
It's me, Kreia. Sorry, a bit flustered right now. I'm glad to hear from you. I'm sorry I had to leave in such a hurry, but things as they were.
Understood. Thankfully, we've made it out quite alive, despite that.
I expected as much.
I'm glad you assumed as much, because I didn't really think so. Anyways,
there would have
number because
this woman, this Inquisitor, she's a big unknown right now. I don't know exactly how much she is watching that whole region of the city, that neighborhood, you guys specifically. I think it's safe for me to keep my distance right now. Keep her on side with you all so she doesn't become violent.
It's the most simplest terms to put it in. What are we going to expect you to do? After all, you're the one who took our informant.
She is being questioned appropriately. We have people who are good at such things.
Campus, I wonder why.
Well, it's not like we don't have like designated interrogators. It's just we have people with varied skill sets, let's say. Different than how you might expect it. Definitely different from what you're expecting. I digress. What I need you all to do right now is just try and, I suppose, play it cool. I will keep you all informed the best way I can. Try and figure out what I need to do. What she knows and where he might be. All of you just, I guess, keep doing things as normal. Investigate this to whatever you think is the best of your own abilities. That's all I can really say. We haven't gotten much out of her yet, so I can't give any more solid plans. But once we get something solid out of her, I'll be able to pass that on to you, and we can try and work something out from there.
Understood. All right. In that case, I got nothing else to say.
Okay. Good luck.
with the receiver and the.
Yep.
Yeah, both. It's one of those old phones, so it had like 2 things.
It
So,
does, yes.
anyway, I'll hang it up, walk out, stretch a little, and just go. Fuck.
Make a perception check.
Arg. State non-combat class.
Yeah, you are confident you aren't being watched.
Cool. I'll just like stretching, and while I'm stretching, just look around. Fuck. And I'll just make my way towards Nigel's bar.
All right. As you walk there, you see, like on the corner of the street, a little stand that sells newspapers and magazines and pulp novels and stuff. And you see, printed on one of these papers, like you see on the front of this little newspaper covering this area of town, I need to write things. That it mentions that there were, over the course of the night, several raids from the WSI across several areas, like several sort of warehouses and residential buildings over the night.
I'd pay whatever the fee was for the newspaper.
It'd be 2 copper.
2 copper removed, and I'll just read the article. For the most part, it covers things I already know, but hey, sometimes might as well catch up with other
Yes.
news.
It's on the topic in general. It says that there were. It is a bit vague. It's the perspective of the reporters. The WSI have not given any formal answers to any of their questions, but it's obvious just from what these people, these night watchers, have been able to see, is that that several places, including the place you guys were at, was listed, were all investigated around the same time, and is believed to be part of some kind of ongoing criminal investigation in this area. Although from what you can gather, it seems that this newspaper hasn't put it together necessarily, like the connection that Matthias has this magic gun that made elementals explode into reality doesn't seem to be something they've put together.
So in other words, it's just
Yeah.
like a lot of sting operations.
Yes.
So,
But
Alright.
it's safe for you to assume that perhaps somehow that they got to some kind of tip. They had a lot of prisoners. Maybe they had a similar information you did and checked out a few places, aside of where you guys would only check out one because there's only so few of you.
well, we got lucky.
Yeah.
All right. With that in mind, I'll just put the newspaper underneath the crook of my arm and just continue on towards Nigel's bar.
Okay. Don't want to know about the stocks anyway. Yeah, you make it
Nah,
a
not
Nigel's bar.
particularly.
You make it.
I invest in my life, not my future.
That's fair. That's honestly, that line goes hard. Good job. Yes, you get there. Ploss is probably already working the bar, or will be very soon. Yeah.
Yes, Ploss is definitely totally working the bar.
Yes. Do either of you? Okay. Since both of you are probably going to be spending all day today at the bar, is there anything that you want to listen over the course of today? Try and listen out for? Maybe you, plus being a bartender, try and coax out of people. If there's any gossip you want to know about Matthias or anything else, maybe, that you want to know? Any other plot hooks I've left out intentionally that Dane doesn't remember any of because he's a crippling alcoholic?
Yes, quite crippling. Edmund, what should I be listening out for?
I'm gonna go get something to
I
drink
just-
real quick.
Flip through another fucking page of my newspaper and I just look up.
Shit.
Would you like?
I would like to phone a friend. I would like
Okay.
to eliminate 2 of the 4 answers.
All right. You pull out your you pull out your fucking sending stone and you call your buddy Acas, and I make fun of you, but honestly, I guess
This is
I guess
not
the only thing-
alcoholic.
I don't believe you.
I haven't tried.
You
This is
poured it
just-
all out, and I've just
It's
put
just
like
sparkling water.
there's put some gin in there, shake it a little bit.
No, the gin's coming. Don't you worry.
Okay. The main things that you would be thinking about, aside from,
Mhm.
well, the main thing you wanted to fight was Gracella, and she's out of the picture right now.
Correct.
You have also, you can just see it on Edmund's newspaper that there have been several police raids in the area, potentially connected to what you've got going on.
Mhm.
So perhaps if you wanted to, you could overhear and see what other people have seen or heard about those raids. You also could maybe try and ask about if anyone's encountered any other, perhaps, manifestations of this elemental anomaly.
Mhm. Mhm.
Might be worse.
Yes. Or perhaps you could just fucking wing it and put me on the spot.
I don't know. I got pretty beat up, and
You're fine now, though. You got a long rest. You have a second level. You got fucking smite.
I do have a second level too. What did I get again?
so Ploss now
action
thinks
surge.
that, hey,
Action
the
surge.
closer I
Oh,
get to
you're
death
familiar.
and heal, the stronger I become.
That is not a
He just
reasonable
goes
thing to
down
think.
into the basement and starts screaming and flexing all his muscles, hoping something will happen. And he's disappointed
Second win.
when nothing happens.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
You've died.
You blow a blood vessel and die.
You pass out for like 5 minutes. Like you'll go. Huh? That's what you experience.
You seen Kung Pao? He's just screaming and then just a fountain
Yeah.
of blood comes out of his neck.
You die.
Passes out.
You're just dead. You explode.
I just reach over the counter, grab his soul, and I just stuff it back into him.
Much appreciated. Okay. I will keep an ear out for anything regarding weird elemental sightings.
All right. That being the case, we're gonna get involved here. I want you to, with your charisma stat and your proficiency bonus, using your spell casting attack bonus, make a charisma check to see your ability to sort of listen to and coax information out from people
So charisma, but using my spell modifier.
with your proficiency bonus. Like you're not using a specific skill. You're just proficient in being a bartender. You're using some of your power and some
You're
of your
not
just
using
being.
a specific skill, but if you happened to click one of the charisma skills that you're proficient in, it would give you the correct roll.
Yes,
Well,
if you are
he's
proficient in any
rolling.
charisma skill.
I'm going to satisfy my morbid curiosity.
Okay.
See, everything is
What the fuck? That's so weird.
Everything's
Okay.
normal. That's also a natural one.
I persuaded some knowledge out of someone.
Okay. Edmund, do you want to also participate in listening in, or do you want to just let him handle his thing and you just make sure no ruffians or vagabonds are about?
I mean, I could use my perception to just
Okay.
listen. I'm not going to actively question people, but if people are
Alright.
talking, I tell them
Alright.
the answer.
I will give you. He rolled very well, so probably I should have offered this earlier. If you want to give him the help action, like try and just use your physical presence there to make
help
people
action's
be
fine.
more talkative, or if you can use perception to just try and maybe see things, or if he's actually like communicating with people.
Well, probably something like that. Or if I know some people are talking about interesting topic, I might just gesture to Ploss and
Right.
have Ploss
Okay.
coax them into talking.
Right. In that case, perception or investigation, whichever one you think would yield better information. It will give you different answers based on what you roll.
Perception. I'm a very perceptive boy, just not good at looking
Okay.
at things closely.
Fair. Okay. It's weird. It's just like roll 10 d20s. I want to see what happens.
They're just
Oh.
all natural.
That's actually a little bit
hits.
better of an attack roll for once. Anyways, I could
That would actually that would hit some level 1 creatures. There you go.
Fuck.
Get out of your system. You're wasting all your hits.
I'm going to be missing shit for sure now if there's any combat.
Okay.
Anyways,
As you try specifically to listen out for things about elementals and the ongoing supernatural phenomena, it's at this point it's been basically a week since this really started, and some of the initial anxiety that people have sort of toned down a little bit. As from what you can gather, not many people have actually, outside of that very first day, and even then it wasn't a lot, few people have actually directly encountered like a warbling manifestation of the other realms in their direct vicinity. But for a lot of the things you hear, Ploss, are not "I saw this" or "this is what I know happened," but like a friend of a friend of a friend, or "I've heard from the grapevine," or
Is it just like what was the DC Marvel or whatever? Was it Ant-Man? The guy just like went on like a long rambling. Never mind.
anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems that the like actual full-blown supernatural phenomena, creatures coming out and attacking people, hasn't been very common thus far. But there have been, it's definitely in the zeitgeist. And you notice especially people who seem to be more inclined to be like, oh, I heard this happened, and are people who seem to be sailor dock worker types. And Edmund, seeing as you are actively observing people, as they talk to Ploss, or as they just talk amongst themselves as they're like sitting down at the table, eating something, eating a little bit of like some fish and or chip, perhaps. You definitely notice that people who you can just tell by their mannerisms or their clothes are boat dock worker people seem to have, on average, seem to be a bit more tense, or perhaps are speaking in more hushed whispers than you would consider to be normal from the usually boisterous sailor types.
Well, in other words, a lot of people in the docks are hearing about this. It might be a good place to start looking if we want to get more details on things.
Also, you do remember that last time you had a job over by the docks, Edmund, you encountered something pretty weird. It didn't seem to be tied to the elementals, but it was a thing.
It was a thing. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. So that's what you guys are doing for most of, at least the early part of the day. Jay,
Hello.
do you have any adventure you want to undertake? Anything you want to investigate or discern with your many tomes of knowledge, or do you want to just not do that and just have me tell you what to do?
Oh, I was gonna say Jay would probably just like bring books to the bar or something to see if he could sort of see what's happening and then just read there.
Okay.
I just glance over at Jay's books and I see Fair Children 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're able to
Dummy,
the
Dummy's Guide to Not Getting Killed by Gangs.
Yeah. You are able to pretty easily. The organization has been around for a few decades at this point in some form, so you're able to get some early sort of basic information on the history of the Fair Children. You know they're bad news. You're able to learn, first of all, that their leader is an Aasimar. She's named Rowena Fairchild, and she estimates put her at around over 200 years old. But no one's really sure. And you know that most of these people are paladins or clerics, and they get their power from some unknown god of greed and violence, seemingly. That gives them... These are the only people who commune with this entity, and as such, they have a variety of unique powers and magics that the wider scholarship of the world still doesn't fully understand. They keep their information very secret. But you know that they are powerful and dangerous people, physically and supernaturally. They also use their advanced wealth to acquire experimental and cutting-edge military technology.
People sound scary.
Like, actually, roll intelligence for me. I want you to roll, like, an intelligence check.
Just straight
With
intelligence?
history. History, I guess it would be. 'cause
History, okay.
Yeah. With that,
I know an
That's
average amount about it.
yeah, I would say that's basically the most you know. Is that they're wealthy, they're well equipped, and they have special powers. That's the broad strokes you're able to learn about them. Hidalgo,
Yes.
are you finished with your lunch?
No.
Your din.
But I'm here.
Okay.
I imagine you're going to ask me what I'm doing.
You are correct. Congratulations.
So even though I'm not getting any work until this Matthias fiasco is done, I still have some contacts around the dock, I would imagine. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
around the docks asking around about two things. The first thing being the sting operations, which I hope Edmund had disclosed to us. Is that correct?
I mean, even if he didn't, like, you would just see it. Like, there's quite a few newspapers around. It's on the headline page. Like, you would just know about it. Even if
I
Edmund
am
didn't tell
playing
you.
a character that can read now.
Yes, you can read.
Amazing.
Holy shit.
Okay.
And talk.
How can Edmund disclose something when he doesn't even see you today?
You know, you just call me on my cell phone or something. Actually, you mentioned that at the start of this. Cell phones exist here?
No, he called on like a landline telephone.
Oh, on the
like a
payphone thing.
Rotary phone.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
It took
Well,
a
I'm going
long
to ask
time.
around the port about two things. A, being the sting operation. B, being if anybody's seen Matthias around. And C, if anybody's seen Frank around.
Fucking. This is what I get for giving an NPC a name, Dylan. This is what I get.
Hey, listen, Frank is going to be the BEBG, or at least he's going to be the
I don't
one.
even remember why I'm angry at Frank. I just need revenge.
You just like, I don't even know this man. I just want him dead.
Frank pulls off his rubber Scooby-Doo mask, and it's Paxi.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh
That's the scariest thing I can imagine.
oh. Oh no, he takes off the mask again and does Swallow.
That's more of a practical problem. Like, Paxi's a philosophical problem. Swalbow's a
So-
Actually, no. In this dimension, we're using the 2024 rules, so Swalbow's easier to kill now.
Oh, actually,
True.
one more thing I'd like to do. While I am perusing around the port, I don't really know much about the Black Whale Society, so I'm going to have the little mark thing. Oh, wait, I don't have a mark. It's a fucking heart.
Yeah, you have a heart, and it has the symbol on it, which
I can't
Working
really
on that.
wear that, guys. Is
it's-
it normal to be wearing these kind of trinkets on me?
something you know a little bit
Or
about.
you know what? You know what? Sorry. Actually, I just draw the symbol on like a piece of paper. I just have it on hand, and
Yeah.
I also ask about that.
Okay, so when it comes
Pull out the heart,
to
it's weird.
okay, when the first thing you ask about the sting operations, you're able to sort of talk to people, sort of sidle into conversations that are already happening, and people don't seem to know a lot. The WSI is intentionally keeping quite hush hush about it. They've like cordoned off the areas, etc. But you do know for a fact that one of the places that was caught up in this was some kind of like a building on the shoreline that was like a dry dock for like sort of small to medium sized boats. And some people, because you are present, and it is sort of a thing that's on some people's minds. The rumor going around is that was a place that was connected to Matthias and his sort of thing, his power trip thing he's got going on. So there seems to be a connection there. But outside of that, if you try to ask or get information about Matthias specifically, you get a lot of shrugs. People seem to think, because he's not the biggest problem in the world. He's just a guy with a fancy gun, but he's been causing problems. People sort of are aware that he's causing these problems. People seem to be of the impression that, seeing as a place of his that people are generally sure was his got hit, that maybe this was all tied to that, and that he's just taken a very big L, to use parlance of today in the real world. But
You say parlance?
beyond that, it's, you have to know what the word parlance is, man. Anyway, yeah. So that you're able to sort of gather little bits of information about that. But outside of that, no one's seen him. The man specifically has not been seen since that tussle you had with him, or before that even.
Gotcha. What about news of Frank?
Frank is a very common name among humans and halflings. Maybe
Can I
there
do
are.
a performance check to like see if I remember his visual traits and try to draw him?
You can say that there is a specific person named Frank who is was working with Matthias, and people can kind of get what you mean from that. And so far, people have seen a few humans that were working for him, or sort of they think might be associated with him, but they could not point Frank out to you specifically. So it's sort of a maybe, and he's out there somewhere.
I'll find him one day. All right.
Okay.
Then what about the
What's that
symbol
Frank?
I drew of the Black Whale Society?
I'm going to ask you to roll, for this specifically, I'm going to have you roll persuasion.
Persuasion. What is that? Is that charisma?
It is charisma. It is a charisma skill.
All right. If somebody can be so generous to roll a d20 minus 1,
I got
and
it.
tell me what I get.
2!
2
Oh.
or 3.
You roll 3 minus 1.
All right. So have you seen this picture before?
You present, you find some point in conversation where you could bring it up, try and seem casual about it. And when you show it to people, they immediately get pretty cagey and sort of just confused. And the best answer you get from anyone you ask is that that is not an appropriate conversation for this time and place, is what you can seem to gather. And from what little you know about this sort of the idea of the black whale as sort of this concept, is that it's a thing that there's certainly a lot of superstition around it, but this is unusual. Like you've never heard of anyone like being afraid of just talking about it like this anyway. But for this 24-hour period, you have spent your charge. You cannot really gather any more information right now, other than just people are very cagey about it.
So there's something.
All right. So not a very productive reconnaissance today. So I will make my way back to Nigel's.
And that was about the Black Whale Society or whatever.
The Black Whale Society.
They are not-
to be
they-
confused with the Black Token Society.
You are making that name up. You have not been given the name that these people are using. All you know is that a guy in a robe gave you a heart. You know what?
He called it a community. The Black
called it-
Whale Community.
He called it a community. He didn't give you a specific capital letter name. Make a fucking
the
death
Black
saving
Whale
throw. Make a death saving throw.
Okay, the community of the Black Whales.
That is
to be
not the
confused with
win you think
community
it
of the
is.
Black Whales.
280 red dragons.
Huh?
280 red dragons.
descend
Anyway,
on us
Being
right
added on
now.
to the total from last campaign.
At this point, it's just gonna get to
Wait, the red dragons roll over to the next campaign?
Yes.
But we never did fight them.
You never did fight them. No, you
No,
gotta
we
clear them out
wished them
eventually.
out of existence. Deus
No,
Ex
that wasn't
Machina.
part of it. That wasn't part of it. No,
No,
You
they
didn't
did not
specify.
look out of existence. They're not.
we did not. We did not ask. Lichtrot did not know about the red dragons. Anyway, I completely lost my train of thought. What are we talking about? Right,
I was
whales.
heading back to Nigel's.
Right. You know, we'll head back to Nigel's. Right. Since you were asking and thinking about this, I'm gonna have you roll a wisdom saving throw.
And me?
Yes.
Oh,
Thing I have to-
Saving throw.
too many questions.
Wisdom saving throw +2. RD20 +2. 12.
Saving throws are not your forte.
12.
I'm gonna say you don't notice anything happen just yet.
Just yet.
But yeah, you're able to go to Nigel's and have some sort of like a late lunch or whatever.
Nice. Well, that's it for me.
Okay. I'm trying to think how I want to like handle. All right. So you all right now, you all are sort of the Inquisitor sort of gave you the impression she would reach out to you if she found out something. And I assume Edmund tries to subtly convey that they're also waiting on Kreia to learn more before anything can okay. But right now you're sort of waiting on sort of several other hero characters are doing sort of their own thing, and you're sort of waiting for them. So this day immediately after, nothing super eventful happens. You did have a late night, but over the next sort of couple days, over like a longer time period, what do you want to be focused on? Just all of you trying to learn what you can about trying to get information on Matthias without the help of Kreia or the Inquisitor.
You know
Wrong
what?
rank in the Ordo Hereticus.
I'm a bartendery kind of guy,
Yes.
right? Do I know
Mhm.
other bartenders that would be in? Who was the higher up society lady that I accidentally blabbed to? Well, accidentally, totally on purpose, blabbed to.
You only know her as Interrogator Fairchild, and she has her little summoned creature
Wisdom.
that assists her. What did I
Okay.
say? Did I say Interrogator again?
Yeah, Inquisitor. Yeah.
I've been playing too much Warhammer.
Right. Okay. But all right. So I want to.
Inquisitor Fairchild and her summoned little creature called Mr. Violence.
I want to see if I have any sort of like contacts or other bartenders like in their rich neighborhoods that I might like know of, or maybe I see them on the
Let me.
just because they're a bartender in that area doesn't mean they live in that area. Maybe I know someone who bartends in the fancy neighborhoods that
Right.
lives around
Bartender
me.
for the Booble Beeble.
Yeah.
See, I should have done this at some other point. Where did I put it? It's in here somewhere. There he is.
I'm looking for the Bip and Bobble.
Okay. I would say Nigel's bar is like here,
Mhm,
roughly
mhm.
here.
That is a very
Nope, I do not
small
wanna meet-
mustache.
Yeah, like right. Oh, I can't see the grid, but it's still there. How do I turn off grid movement, Dylan?
Right click the token. Click. I think there's something that allows you to put it is drawing.
Change layer, advanced transform.
I'll be back soon.
Disable grid snapping. There it is. So I would say Nigel's bar is sort of like here-ish. Over as you go, like this golden area is like the very fancy area, but it's sort of this is sort of an approximation. Like it's a bit of a gradient scale. So you could maybe make a day of it and try and wander over there. And I wouldn't say if you want to be like I want to know, find someone I know specifically. I might have to make a roll for that, or make you just improv something on the spot. But failing that, you could go over there and just sort of try and peruse this wealthier side of town to see if you might be able to learn things. Because, like, here where you are, the fair children show up from time to time, usually, like, I don't know, guarding armored trucks or doing some kind of specific work. But as you start going, like, places like this are where they would just hang out. So you could maybe try and get some information on if that organization is doing something that the bartender folk, your people, might be able to get some information on. But I will say that there can be consequences for asking too many questions, Floss.
Okay, so rather than making it overt, I'm a bartender and I can just listen, just keep an ear out. Like I can hear conversations from across the room and stuff like that. I can pick up on subtle, nuanced information that people might not think they're giving out, but they are. Sort of. They might say one word too many.
Okay. All right. And is this a thing you want to, like, do you want to spend a whole day doing this? Do you want this to be a thing you do a little bit every day?
Yeah,
like
I guess.
Take your lunch, like take like a long lunch break, hop on like a trolley or a subway, and go over to this part of town to try and listen in.
Yes.
Okay, that's noted. Edmund, what are you going to be doing over this period of days? Do you think you're going to be staying in Nigel's bar? Do you think you're going to be and try and take more freelance work? Do you need to pad your pocket? Do you want to maybe just use some of your somewhat skills you have from your previous profession to try and manually like go out into the city and try and investigate something?
I think the last thing I want to do is create too much of a scene.
Correct answer.
Specifically, I don't want to go out of my way to investigate shit because I know for a fact I'm being watched, or at least there are people watching. So I'm just going to do freelance work, and I can pick up stuff that way too.
Okay.
Just do my regular, ordinary business and not draw any attention. Just make it
All
seem like
right.
I'm just making extra coin.
Okay.
And if I learn something while that happens, that's a bonus.
All right. Jay, do you have any long-term things you want to be focusing on, or just reading your books, being scared about how you're going to die, and preparing combat spells?
Jay is dead.
Yep. Jay is dead!
How much money do I make?
We're going to cover that when we get to you. We're going to do it. I'm doing things my way. I'm sorry if I get my hand in front of my camera. I do not clean my fucking screen enough.
I know that feeling. The Jay is dead. Doc, what happened? He was killed.
Yeah.
No. In my
They got him.
professional opinion, he was killed, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Hidalgo.
Yes.
Do you have any plan you want to spread out over like a couple days? Do you want to just try and do your fishing work and get away from the mainland? Do you want to keep trying to get answers about whatever's going on with this black whale entity? Do you want to try and learn more about Matthias? Do you want to just walk into the ocean and just let it take you?
Just to be clear, so the heart thing hasn't really compelled me to do anything since that one.
Okay. I will explain this to you out of character.
Okay.
Hidalgo currently does not Hidalgo is probably vaguely aware that it's somewhat out of character for him to keep this heart, because it is. Like, out of character, the heart is supernaturally alluring to Hidalgo. It has, like, ensorcelled him. But it's not making him do anything. The only power it has over him is making him more interested in it and keeping it than he normally would be. That's all that's affecting him right now.
Okay,
And I
so
will say...
it never really brainwashed me, per se. It's
Yes.
just kind of like,
It's
whenever I have
it's
the
an
urge to get rid
earworm.
of it, that urge is
Yes.
just gone.
Yes, it's like an earworm. It's you just can't stop thinking about it. But currently he is not suspicious enough of it to completely overwhelm it, nor is he that's why I'm making you make wisdom saves. Is that if you roll high enough, I will say you realize that this isn't right and that this heart is doing something to you.
Gotcha.
But also, I will say, you rolled a 20, and that was just you being good. But the heart did save you. You get the like when it put you back up, you get the impression that the heart, this feeling that it was protecting you, or it could help you, and that this is some property the heart has, that it has some kind of protective energy to it that helped you survive that fight.
You know what? I'm gonna do something with my new friend Jay. I'm gonna go to his library and I'll ask him about any books that might be related to the Black Whale.
Okay. Jay, are you here?
Jay is dead.
You did.
He's actually dead. Okay.
It is good day to be not dead.
I imagine Jay's not the only. Wait, Jay owns a bookstore, right?
He works at a library.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. He works at a library, so he's not the only one. I don't have to specifically look for Jay.
Yeah.
I just know a library exists
yeah.
now.
You can. There is a bookstore library thing. I haven't really worked it out yet, but there is a place that you know that Jay is where there is knowledge. Lamborghini. So yeah, you can go and try and do academic information on this.
Yes,
so
that's what I wish to do.
Okay. So I'm trying to gauge like over like a couple day, like 2 to 4 day period of time. So you're going to spend all your free time just trying to do book research on this symbol?
So let me preface by saying my intelligence is very average. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, so I will be spending a lot of time asking for help from the librarians and stuff.
Okay.
Got any books with pictures in them?
All right. I want everyone to do me a favor and pick different numbers. The three of you pick a different number between 1 and 4.
Do we tell you or what?
Just like say it out loud.
4.
1.
I said different. You die instantly. Okay. All right.
We are number 1.
Edmund.
Yeah, dude.
You, while you are, so you were able to sort of reach around, reach out to your contacts, and work a few sort of odd jobs. Sometimes you do a couple smaller things a day. Sometimes it's a full day thing. You have options. You have things you can do. Are you listening out for anything specific, or just like the gossip of the town, just in general?
Well, the gossip of the town for the most part. But I mean, obviously,
Okay.
the things I'm more interested about is Matthias and his business, and possibly things involving possible crazy people and unusual relics. But any news is news to me.
Okay. Well, I will.
I will specify though, if I end up working with any of the people I worked the last time on those stocks, I will probably ask them, hey, have you heard anything ever since what happened with, the crazy guy? Yeah, like, have you seen anything else like that?
All right.
If not, general news.
Okay. I will say, I will have you roll for me.
Oh, I can roll dice. I'm very good at that, unless it's with attacks,
Okay.
when it matters most.
So, as I do this, I'm gonna remind you that you have heroic inspiration. You have your 2 second wind dice you can roll for skill checks, and you have the hated luck point.
And above all,
Oh,
you asked for
also,
this.
it mentions in the second wind if the check would fail, it's not consumed.
That's yeah. So I will have you roll just for what you're doing over the course of this couple day period. Let's say 3 days. I will have you roll once on investigation, once on perception, and once on persuasion. Or perhaps
So-
you can pick something different if you think it would suit your character better.
So perception, persuasion, and what was the last one?
Investigation.
Oh, I'm not good at investigation.
But
Anyways,
I will leave it open to you if you want to replace one of those with a skill you think
I
is
might use
more in line with
replace
you.
Insight, maybe, if I feel like someone's.
Okay, so-
fully-
Yeah. What do you want to replace with insight?
Investigation.
Okay. So yeah, roll insight, perception, and persuasion.
Alright, so perception. 17.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
That's a good roll, yeah.
Persuasion. Not too fun with that. Would that be considered failing in an ability check?
I would say that rolling a 10 would be a failure in this case. They would not give you very good information.
So, I will not use my tactical mind
Yeah.
on that then. And then insight.
No, I rolling like you. I fail to understand the question. I think.
Oh, okay, because tactical mind. If you fail an ability check, you can expand the use of second one instead of regain HP, roll 2010 and add it to the ability check.
Oh.
It specifically says fail.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the 11 is a failure.
Ah, okay. And then add a D10.
Okay. 16.
17.
Oh.
So yeah, it's 16, and then for insight,
12.
yeah, I'll just
Right.
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Add a 6. All right.
Okay.
So 17, 16, and 18.
Okay. You're able to gather. You definitely notice a pattern of people. Of the closer you get to the water, and the more people who interact with docks, you seem to get something nervous about it. But specifically, what you hear with that really high perception and persuasion, you maybe you do work with those like one of those toughs you worked with at that dockyard, and you start asking him some questions of what he's seen. And
Or I just say, hey, I've seen one of those things before too. A crazy guy, he acting like he's talking about waves and all that.
Yeah.
It's like fact I just use the fact I've seen something like that to make him more open up. Like, yeah, I saw that too, or something like
yeah,
that.
it's the dwarf you worked with that day. You encounter them again, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I actually had something I had going on further out east in the actual sort of like a Red Docks area. I've heard lots of crazy stuff, lots of weird mutterings in the night. I stood there once and I haven't gone back since. It's something ain't right over there. Something ain't right over there at all.
I'll just hit there. Seems like it's coming across all over the docks. Hearing some things about crazy mutterings and stuff just all over the place. Something's happening, and I don't think it's drugs.
Honestly, I'm perfectly content just not going anywhere near it. Let it be its own thing.
That's what I'm starting to think for you, at least. I think it's probably best for the sake of you and your family, just start taking jobs in the more further inland. Less crazy trouble, to say the least.
Yep. So yeah, you're able to get that out. I will also say that as the days have gone on, people talk more about like the several sort of sweeps that happen all at once in the WSI. And from what you gather from people, it again, the full extent of what Matthias is capable of and what he's connected to, people don't quite seem to understand unless you start volunteering that information. That like his gun, the fact that his gun is elemental magic and created one of
I ain't
the
feeling that information.
Okay. Yes. People know that Matthias has some kind of magic weapon, and that is making him more bold and sort of unstable, and this really aggressive push. And people seem to be of the opinion that is what happened. That several places that he made this really aggressive expansion, got a bunch of people in, was capturing or purchasing or stealing or breaking into or squatting in these buildings, and was up to some shit. But you're not quite like, no one's quite sure what exactly was happening. They're keeping very tight-lipped about it. But it's just the impression that he and whatever he was building got hit because he was in over his head with whatever he was doing.
Just say things like, from the sounds of it, he drew too much attention to himself. Got the WSI all over him.
Okay. I will get back to you, Edmund, but as that's what's going on. Plus. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Okay. That is heads. So you're able to take some time on a break. Maybe take a day away from the bar, from the pub, when Nigel is a bit less busy and you have some time. I will have you. I'm gonna look exactly. I need to see then again.
Do they have like markets and stuff up here? Like, could I just be like acting like I'm looking for higher quality ingredients for the bar? You know, you go to the rich neighborhoods.
You could. There are definitely there are a lot of the ground floor in this section of the city. It's a lot of mixed residential. Like the maybe first and second floors are shops. Above that's residential. So there are definitely, as you go into the richer areas, you could find perhaps higher quality spirits for mixed drinks or fresher or rarer spices. You could definitely pass it off that way. You also can just hop into a bar and try and eavesdrop on things. So
Okay, yeah.
I will. Ability. Where are... I need a list of all the fucking skills because I keep forgetting what they are. I'm going to open Saint's fucking character sheet, I guess. Because this is the problem I keep having. I'm gonna ask you for a roll, and there's more than 2 skills. I just need to remember that. Insight, intimidation, investigation, nature, perception, performance, persuasion. I would say I will ask you to roll perception, persuasion, and performance.
Okay. So perception. So all 3.
Yes. Just we're gonna use those 3 rolls to determine what you do.
Perception, persuasion.
To sort of average out all the work. Remember, you as a human have heroic inspiration and can re-roll 1 dice.
Oh.
I probably should have used that over my. You know what? Who cares?
I'm gonna do it for the
it's all on a
perception. How? Oh, hey, cool. Okay, so
Nice. Okay.
and
17.
Performance. Oops.
6. Okay. So from this, I would say you have been pretty good with perception persuasion on trying to get information from sort of passively, just trying to overhear conversations and maybe subtly weave your way into a conversation to coax out a bit more information. But your performance being very bad means that
How do you do, fellow kids?
yeah, you stand out as not really necessarily walking in these circles. So
That's fair and par for the course.
The people who if you try to interact with the shopkeeper, they can tell you are not necessarily the right clientele and are not super keen on discussing with you or trying to sell you their wares. You sort of you out yourself as not being sort of a wealthy enough clientele for it to be really worth their time. But you're able to sort of. So, is it? I know the main thing you're looking for is information about this Inquisitor. And is it anything else, or is it just her, or do you want to just get anything? I will tell you, you will not hear about Matthias over here. You're a bit outside of that range.
Okay. I was gonna keep an ear out for him just in case. Like, oh, he is actually operating outside of his normal areas. And no sightings of weird bugbear women with chains wrapped around their fists.
She's in magic jail.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in
So
custody.
no,
After
I
we
would have
knocked
heard
her out.
nothing about her. Naturally.
Yep.
It's almost like we beat her up last session.
Okay.
Or something.
Yes. You're back.
All right. So, at any point, do I get the sense that someone did know something, but they just didn't want to tell me? Because if that's the case, I'm going to bribe them.
It's if you mean like the shop types who just don't really want to interact with you, you just get the impression that they just can tell that you're not like a wealthy sommelier, so you're not really just, and they're not. They can tell you're not really there to buy things. You're there to try and sort of carouse and schmooze, and they're not really there for it. So you just sort of wash out of that. You can't really tell their motivations past that.
They're just classic.
As for the people, yes, you're correct. As for the people you're just trying to like subtly listen in on, you can tell that people. You might notice an occasional person in the distinct sort of orange, like dark orange suits and coats, silvered glasses, fedoras look that the no, not fedora. They would have bowler hats. Yeah, that's the actual uniform that the Pinkertons at this time would have had, like big bowler hats. So that's what they wear. Yeah. You will see occasionally people in that uniform that maybe it's hard for you to tell immediately if they are perhaps actively security for this place the way Edmund is, or if they're just here on a drink. It's all of them are just sort of have an aura about them of intimidation, especially so for you because you can you being a paladin. I don't know what oath you're going to pick, how you qualify it within yourself, but you are connected to this other force, and you can feel that in these people, and it feels wrong. It's almost like the air tastes wrong, or there's a bad smell, or just this tingle on the back of your neck when you're around them. You can just tell. But it's hard for you to really get a read on what exactly they're doing, unless you were to inquire to them specifically. But you were able to sort of gather from this information that there are fewer of them than normal. You seem to see these kind of people seem to frequent these establishments, not the super rich places, but the wealthier places the fair children tend to go to, so they can buy more fancy drinks, throw their wealth around, be seen. But the super wealthy people don't want the muscle around them, you know.
Okay.
But there seem to be fewer of them around, as if the organization is doing something in some other part of the city or some other part of the world even. It's not like a lot, they haven't disappeared entirely, but there's been a noticeable diminishment in their population.
Okay.
And you also you don't know her first name, so you can't really ask around for her, but you don't see the Inquisitor that you've been dealing with.
Right. All right. Well, that didn't work out.
I mean, it did work out. You got information. You also right. You also don't seem to see people talking much about the anomaly right here. Although you get the impression, I would say, that it's not like they haven't been dealing with elementals or the phenomenons here. It just seem to be more cagey about talking about it for one reason or another. So that's something that seemed to be maybe it's not like they're keeping from you specifically. They're not talking about it amongst themselves either.
Is it out of shame or fear? Is it sort of this not in my backyard sort of shame? We don't like that it happened and we don't want to talk about it? Or are they scared of talking about it?
You get The main thing you get is, I would say, it seems to be sort of like a bit of a NIMBY thing.
Mhm.
Like in their minds, they're the rich people, so the bad things don't happen to them, you know? But I will say that occasionally people, you might overhear them talking about a news story about some, like, methods being sighted on some other part of the town, or some strange rogue wave hitting a ship that people are sort of concerned about. But people talk about it, like very little. And they talk about it even less, if not at all, when you have that tingle on the back of your neck that says the fair children are nearby. So it seems they don't want to talk. It seems maybe it's a coincidence, but perhaps they don't want to talk about it around.
Can I do something really stupid with that? Can I try and spread a false rumor?
All right. Word the wish spell very carefully, Dane.
You know what? I'm
not saying no.
I'm gonna
I'm just-
pass this by Edmund first. That
Okay.
I have.
This is happening over the course of several days, so you can.
Right. So I'm
hop in on
gonna
him.
go to Edmund like, okay, I've noticed a thing that they do. These rich folk, they do talk about these incidents, but as soon as a Fairchild is within earshot, everybody shuts up about it. So here's my idea. I can't figure out why that is. So I'm gonna talk about it when they're right in front of me. Or at least definitely within earshot.
What are you wanting to talk about?
Methods. Elementals. The things exploding.
Okay. I want you to at least be aware of this, boss. There's a reason why the fair children are very much feared. So if you want to go do something like this, you have to be very careful about it. And also keep in mind we already have some form of contact with one of them. So what exactly is it you have in mind?
This is a terrible, stupid idea, and I don't think Ploss
No,
would actually make this up.
See, here's the thing. I, as someone who has been playing D&D with Dane for like 4 years now, can read his mind, and he's like, what's the button that causes the wackiest thing to happen? Have you seen,
That's kind
You
of
know, have you seen
my
the meme
headspace right
of
now. Is like, what's
Jim
going
Carrey Eggman going
yeah.
on the big red button?
Mhm.
It's that.
Dane is looking to push the story forward in one way or another. Okay, Plos would not do that, probably because he's not smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
He's not a detective. Okay,
He's a drunk bartender.
yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna relay that everybody shuts up
Okay.
when fair children are around. No one wants to talk about the obvious thing. And that's weird. That's my I end my turn. I place 2 cards face down.
Okay. Going back to Jay for a second, I posed the question to everyone while you were dead. What is there a thing you want to do over the course of a couple days, like this 3-day period, where you have more free reign to sort of do what you'd like? Like, did you just want to keep investigating, like just keep reading your books and read about various topics? Do you want to maybe go out and try to interact with someone or something?
I feel like Jay probably has exhausted all of the books in the library. Maybe he would go out and search for other places with books.
Oh my god, he's just.
Since he has
avoiding
no
it.
concept of acquiring information from any other source.
This guy's just a
That's
nerd.
fair.
Jay's just
Go around
avoiding
and
you.
find like other bookstores or libraries to see if they have information.
All right. Well, you weren't here when this answer was given, but Hidalgo said he wanted to look through some books as well to try and learn about this mysterious artifact he has.
I'm mainly
So-
looking for a picture of the symbol of the black
Yeah.
whale.
Exactly. So, so would you actively seek out Jay for this question, Hidalgo, or do you just ask?
Yeah, I was
some?
gonna say, would he ask
Um,
me about it since he knows
No,
I
no.
like
If
books?
I just know that Jay works at a library, so I go to the library.
Okay.
I'll look for
Oh,
him, but if he's not there, then
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna leave.
I'll,
I'll just spend my time. at the
I'll
library.
say I was probably
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
definitely
When he showed
you're-
up.
Yeah. Also, Jay, Hidalgo, you know Hidalgo is in the same room as you, even if you're on the entire other side of the building. He's a giant man who smells like the ocean.
Yes.
You just can tell that he's there. So yes, will you help him find this image?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I would have
This is a man that I was not expecting to be in the library.
Yes. I will ask you, Jay, to roll religion.
What?
You specifically, Jay.
Oh,
Roll religion.
me roll religion.
Religion.
Yes. Okay.
I am very average today.
Yeah. You don't understand any deeper meaning of this symbol, but you do recognize that you've seen it in a few different books. Just you don't remember the context of it, but you recognize it enough to know that you've seen it before. And you're able to point Hidalgo to a couple books in sort of the section about theology and philosophy. Yes. Do you want to help him do this research, seeing as you are the smart one? Or do you want to leave him do his business while you do your own thing?
A chance to spend my time reading books and learning things? Of course I'll help.
Okay. In
One
that
way or
case,
another, he was gonna help. My reading's a bit slow.
in that,
One way or another, Jade is going to spend his time reading
That's
books.
fair. That's fair. Also,
I have average reading capability, but average and Yale in terms is not too great.
I will ask, in that case, as you're reading through both of these books, I will ask both of you, because I'm assuming this is going to be a thing you're going to be coming back to over and over again. Both of you roll history, religion, and roll history, investigation, history, religion, and investigation.
You go
Both of
first,
you.
Jay.
History, investigation, religion.
Oh, it's pretty good investigation. Alright, my turn.
Okay, well, the
Um,
investigation is good.
History. Oh, yeah, that's a +3. That's a 7, actually.
Okay.
Religion. Oh, that's pretty bad. And
Okay.
then investigation.
Hidalgo is not a religious man.
I thought myself to be a pious man of faith.
History.
All right, but those are my rolls.
You rolled religion twice, Jay.
No, he rolled religion earlier
No,
when
no.
I asked him to take-
There's two different
Oh,
times
right.
you asked me to roll religion.
I'm a dumbass. So
Those are the best of us.
yes. Okay. With these informations combined, so I would say the religion and the histories the history collectively is okay. The religion averages out between very bad and pretty okay. And both of your investigations are very good.
Yes.
So, not a lot of the books in the library seem to contain any, they contain mostly, factual information about this symbol. That being that it is a symbol that has existed for centuries. No one really knows where it came from, but it existed among various maritime cultures across the world, and is associated with this being, and the black whale is just sort of the common name used right now, although it has been associated with a few different names. And it is a symbol associated with occultism, basically, sort of supernatural superstitions. It's also very heavily associated with scrimshaw culture, like taking pieces of bone and ivory and carving them with patterns and shapes. And this symbol being carved onto a bone trinket is a really common thing, because the belief as it is described, like academically in this work, is that the general belief is that whatever this thing is, it is a malevolent force that lives in the depths of the ocean and causes storms and misfortunes, and is sometimes associated with forms of undeath even. But it is believed that that carving its symbol, its name, onto various objects is a sort of an offering of respect. And if you show respect and deference to this phenomenon, then your ship will be spared misfortune. There is like it goes less into like the more deep, like religious and spiritual beliefs associated with actual like some kind of belief structure or cult of this creature. But there is sort of offhand mention that there are people who have, or generally believe that there are people who have made warlock bonds with this force. Like, first of all, like the 13 classes, they just exist. People know them. If you say artificer, they know what that means. People know what warlock means, and there is some evidence that people have been able to make warlock bonds with this force. So there is some truth behind it, although it's definitely layered in a lot of sort of levels of superstition.
Well, it seems like a useful charm to use for a fisherman.
I mean, do you Hidalgo, while you're spending this time investigating this with Jay, do you show him the heart?
No.
Okay. In that case, yes, Jay, that is the conclusion you draw, that this is...
Yeah, this is a... It seems like a pretty useful symbol to have around if you're a fisherman. You should get something. You should put this on something. I'm sure that can't possibly have any bad consequences.
Since we're talking about that, let's cut. End of the set. Let's say it's late on the second day of this sort of 3-day period. And Edmund, you've had a day of work. You know, you've had that conversation with that dwarf today, or you've just been sort of maybe driving around in the back of a car, you know, maybe guarding some other store, whatever it is you can imagine. But you're sitting back at Nigel's bar at the end of the day to have, you know, his pub. It's a pub now. Fuck you, Dylan. Not you. Fuck you, Drew. Fuck you, Drew. It's a pub now. You sit down, and you're having a drink before you sort of head off for the end of the day. And someone walks into the door. There's a little ding, and you see the good doctor himself in his big long coat, Goodwill. And he sees you and sort of addresses you as like, ah, yes, I was looking for you. And he sits down beside you,
munching on some bar peanuts, and I just like look at him, just nod my head.
He nods at you. It's I've been meaning to stop in here, speak with my old friend Nigel.
Hi.
And he I just wanted to say to you, because I heard about it today. I have been making some inquiries into these things, just on my free time, and you remember that thing that we found on that patient you brought to me, that knife, or knife-like object?
Correct.
Well, me and ZWSI, we have an understanding with each other, and I try not to pry too much into their work. They try not to pry too much into mine, but I've managed to sort of pose a question to someone, and I got around. They said to me, the person I asked for WSI said that it ended up at the campus, and I have some affiliation with that place, and I asked them, some people I still know from there, and they said that they only had it for a short period of time before they sent it to, of all places, the interface community on the west side of town. And just to remind you, this is like the center of spirituality in the city. Like, this is sort of a section that various groups and organizations of faith for various sort of religious belief structures in this world have sort of collectivized around this sort of pavilion area. Pretty large area, honestly, that is sort of composed of there is private residences here, but it's sort of an area dedicated to a lot of sort of temples and churches and locations of worship. And there's a big area in the very center that is sort of like this unified sort of complex for various like people of all faiths to come. It's much like the campus. It's another place that has a lot of it's a place where the WSI doesn't have a lot of power, and it's a place that has a lot of supernatural affinity to it because magic is real. The gods are real, or real enough anyway. And that's what you know about this place, just as a surface level. And Diedrich, he sort of has a bit of some bar peanuts too. I see. I just thought that was a really weird thing to say, for a weird place for it to end up, and I thought you might like to know that.
At this point, I kind of just like to think it over a bit. So that's what's going on right now. So, Dietrich, perhaps I should probably inform you of my own things. Doc. Well, what we know is that man may not be the only one that exists. Especially out in the docks, there's been a lot of rumors. But I can say with certainty that they're not rumors. There are more of these individuals that are going mad. And if they are behaving just like the way this man was, it's probably the same with certainty that they also have an unusual object on them. So this is not a one-off case. This seems to be something that is spreading. Have you heard of anything else of that matter?
I have not seen anyone else brought to me showing those symptoms, no. I haven't heard anything either. At least not anything that extreme. But I suppose I will keep my eyes out. I can say that as I was treating this man, the WSI took him off, and from what I can gather, he's being treated by their people. But he was definitely cursed. I know.
So
I know
just some one-off thing.
Yes, I know a thing or two about magic, just a little bit. I don't use it all the time, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt that man was. His madness was some kind of supernatural affliction imposed upon him. And that knife was probably cursed too, hence why they brought it to somewhere to be cleansed, maybe, or destroyed.
Or studied. Seems like curses is not really something that WSI are really built on handling.
No, they are good at. They have spent a great deal of time learning to handle mundane. The supernatural ones they hand off to others.
I appreciate the heads up on this, Doc. If there's anything else you hear, I definitely would appreciate to hear more on. Especially since whatever this is, it's definitely going to be affecting the daily lives of everyone around us. And I pause for a moment, I kind of just think things over. I do have something else I have to ask you, and it's something that may be way over your pay grade to say the least, but seeing that you get all sorts of characters, have you heard any rumors of, like, I was just like, look around. Well, make sure there's no one. Oh. Shifted map.
Oh, I thought I was moving the camera.
Anyways, I would like to see if there's anyone listening in on the conversation.
Roll perception.
19.
I would say with a 19, you are pretty like you're inside the bar. You definitely don't see her, and you imagine that that thing she has with her would stand out. So you are pretty confident that they're not here.
Okay. Have you heard of any activity of the fair children around these areas as of late?
He, you can see his expression darken a little bit at that. I shouldn't really be talking about this, but a man was brought to me. He was already dead before I could actually help him, but I decided out of courtesy to remove the bullet he was shot with, and it was one of theirs. They have a unique caliber of weapon. The people who brought him to me, they were not forthcoming. I did not ask. I never do. But I don't know what happened. But the fact that it was a one-off thing, the fact that I didn't hear anything about it, they said a woman shot him. But beyond that, I do not say.
To say the least, there has been more activity with them as of late. I myself can't really tell you too much, just for the safety of everyone here. But if possible, keep an eye out for me, because I think otherwise you may be getting a little bit more patients who have had some form of involvement with them.
For the both of us, I hope you are wrong. But yes, I will keep an ear out.
Fortunately, Doc is already happening as we speak. That's why, just keep an eye out.
All right.
I got nothing else to say.
Okay. All right. Good. Ooh. Jay and Hidalgo. I should change the music. This music is too heavy. There we go. Jay and Hidalgo. As you are continuing to do this, maybe you're studying, doing whatever it is you're doing together, trying to learn about this symbol. Jay, you catch out of you hear the door open and close, the chime of the bell, and then you catch out of the corner of your eye a familiar sort of shape of person, and you see it is
someone who's like a third the size of Hidalgo.
Yes, it is it is a familiar halfling woman.
Oh, it's her again.
And she,
You don't
like,
know her.
yeah, you don't know this woman. She, you can just tell she's not hiding it very well. That she's pretending to look at the books while she's actually like sort of having a sideways glance at you. And after a moment, she walks over and sort of hoists herself up into the chair beside the both of you.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, hi there. It's nice to see you. Is this a friend of yours? She gestures.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
Sort
you.
of.
Well, fancy I caught you here. I was just sort of stopping by. I so I hear things. I listen out for things. I like learning. And rumor on the street is that Matthias character, he took a pretty bad sort of loss the other day. You wouldn't know anything about that. I mean, we talked about how he was our mutual enemy. Dylan, get that fucking look off your face. You fucking... I'm doing my best. All right. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
What do you mean? What kind of loss?
that places he was holed up in, his people were held up in, got sort of knocked over by some people.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear about that.
Okay. Just heard
Uh,
about it. Didn't participate in that at all.
uh,
You mentioned you tussled with his people before. Sounds like something. You seem like the kind of guy to get into trouble, and your friend definitely seems like the kind of guy to get into trouble.
I don't know. I try not to, but it seems to keep finding me.
Yeah, so it goes.
I don't know. We just keep getting into situations where we have to defend ourselves.
I see. I see. What are we talking about? I just like wow.
Jay is very nervous to actually like disclose that he's done illegal
Okay.
things.
Roll deception.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, she
So
gestured to. So
her,
there, I am
Yeah,
part
her
of this
she-
conversation.
personality is definitely Jay's strong
yeah.
suit.
You are part of this conversation.
Oh, so well,
Excellent.
hello there.
Good lord.
Just like shifty eyes. Like
Absolute
Yeah.
cinema.
Did Jay actually wink
Like I
at
said,
her accidentally?
her personality is definitely Jay's strong suit.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. Yes, you,
Can I try
you
to
are part of this
intervene
conversation,
before he
Hidalgo.
exposes himself?
No, it's like he's sweating buckets. He's obviously lying. He's maximum shift right now.
Can I butt in before she realizes something's up?
You can butt in.
I roll
You
a 1. You're
realize
not doing
something's
anything
up.
before she realizes something's up.
You can butt in. Like you can. You are part of this conversation. You can say
The
whatever
sheer
you like.
size. Do you think my hand is bigger than Jay? How tall is Jay again?
I'm a normal sized person.
Oh my!
Yeah.
He's normal sized. What?
Yeah, he is
She's the
not.
one who's
a-
halfling. I'm just like a normal sized elf.
He's never played a normal sized character
listen,
before.
he's a Lord of the Rings elf, not a Keebler elf.
Yes, none of those.
Okay, I just pushed
the
the.
first character that I played with you was normal size. What are you talking about?
I don't remember.
A blue eyes white dragon that I played.
Oh yeah. What was I saying? Yes, I intervene. I shoved the picture of the black whale photo image thing. And I asked her if she knows anything about it.
I want you to roll performance.
Well, hello there, little lady. I see you're a good friend of my friend. Therefore, you are a friend of a friend. Let's see, performance. Is that minus? That's minus. That's 7. Not doing too hot on these rolls today.
She she takes a look at the symbol and she sort of like nods a little bit, but like Jay's the worst liar to ever live. So obvious. So she will sort of she looks at it for a second and sort of brushes the picture aside. That's nice. I think I want to talk about our mutual enemy actually, because I think you're not being fully truthful with me.
Oh,
there,
I
Jay.
can honestly say I have not seen him since we last talked.
Okay, that I can believe, but you both of you, I think, know something about what happened the other night. You can trust old Hope. We're all buddies here. We're all friends. We all have someone we want to see get theirs. That makes us the best of buds.
I don't know. I don't like being involved in all this illegal things. Very nervous.
Oh, I get you. There's nothing
Being
before.
involved in all these gangster things.
You see, if that's the case, then I think it would be very beneficial for you to be open with me so I can help you get out of this situation. This is my thing. I'm in my element here.
Well, what did you say you did again?
I didn't.
Wait a minute.
All I know is that you're building magical things.
I do dabble in artifice, that I do. But, beyond that, I like to solve problems. Usually I help
Uh-oh.
other people solve their problems, but
Uh-oh.
we have a problem together and we can help solve him.
Jay, do you know what a
Sure, she can't wait
fixer
for this
is?
summer when that Artificer book comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. You all fall through a hole and now you're in Eberron. Yippee.
uh,
Yes.
let's see here.
Will you be honest with her about your involvement with the tussle on the fucking walkway? The battle of the choke points.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what.
Is
We
Jay
were just there
capable of
trying to
lying?
kidnap her to interrogate her, basically, right?
Literally that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just trying to I'm like, do I remember why we were there correctly?
Yes, you did.
Jay's like Pinocchio in Shrek right now. Like, he can't lie,
Yeah.
but he also won't tell the truth.
I'm not wearing soiled underwear. Wait.
No, I'm not wearing
Um,
Definitely wasn't a place that I
Wow.
wasn't that night.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, we showed up at some place because we wanted to talk to some lady about how to get them to stop killing us or something, and then a fight broke out. A bunch of people died. It was very sad. I really don't want to be involved in all of this, though.
I get you. I get you. So, judging by your reaction, assuming you have other friends who are here when part of this, maybe we can all meet up sometime. Got a place you hang out? Some kind of watering hole, or
Didn't I tell her about the bar last time?
I don't think so.
I thought I just told her like, oh yeah, I hang out at this bar and there's a bunch of people there that don't like him. I don't know. Well, if not, I'll mention that this time.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She okay. Good. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll talk with all your friends. We'll all have a nice conversation this. How's that sound, everybody?
I don't know.
Screw you.
All right. Good talk, both of yous. Hops down from the chair because she is small, and she walks away. She's got like a bit of a pep in her step as she leaves.
She walks out and Jay goes to change his definitely non-soiled underwear.
Good. Good. Very good. Yes. So you've already. Yes. You continue to look into weird picture and other
Yeah.
things. If you were to go to other bookstores, Jay, what would you want to look into? Just this picture, the WSI, the Fair Children.
Oh, I guess
Elementary?
that will. Probably either. Probably just look for a combination of like books on like the picture, the Fair Children, maybe more method books. I don't know.
Okay.
I
would say
anything that's come up in the past like few weeks that
Right.
Jay is currently scared of, he'll be looking for books on,
All right.
which is a lot of things, really.
I would say you gather a bit more information. I will say you can add a book that's like book brackets history, comma the Fair Children. You can add that to your inventory.
I think you already gave me one of those.
Oh, did I? You're right, I did. In that case,
You also gave me one on methods. If you're giving me another one of those.
that I do. So in that case, you can have one. You can have bracket history or book history colon occultism, just general
Oh, okay.
occultism. That was the other thing I was going to say. Yes. The whole time it's I have everything perfectly organized. I know exactly what I'm doing at all times.
That's what I say too.
And
Anyway.
we believe you.
Yay! So, yes, later that evening, plus you're working the bar. Edmund, you're there. You're probably ruminating on the things you've learned over the last couple days. And Jay and Hidalgo walk in together, which is slightly unusual. But then a little bit later, you see this. They're a stranger to you, Plus, but I would say, Edmund, I'll put this to you. How much do you know of the woman that you see walk through the door?
Hmm.
I will preface that my take on the character is a little bit different, but I will let you sort of just gauge any, like, seeing as you sort of know this character. I will let you
Uh,
gauge your familiarity with her.
hmm.
You could just say a number between like 1 and 10 if you want.
Oh, but how familiar I'm in general.
Yeah. Like it just like I'll leave it up to you. You know, while
Hmm.
you think about that, I need to refill my fucking water. I need like a mini fridge, like right here.
That would be very convenient. Oh, that in mind.
I'm gonna be back in like 30. I have to go pick up some meds.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be
gotcha.
Have
back.
fun getting your drugs.
Yeah. Wait, we're recorded. I'm not getting drugs.
Drugs.
To make sure I fully understand the question in particular, you want me to describe the person who just went through the door, or you want me to say, explain how familiar I may be with her as a character?
I want you to describe your relationship with the person.
Oh, okay. With that case, seeing her work, from what I recall, it's been a little while. She would have some involvement with some sketchy activities, correct? So with that in mind, I would probably not be surprised if I've gotten hired by her at one point or another. Maybe not interacted with her too much, but enough that we would probably know each other vague, not on a well. We would know each other's identity. She would know who I am, even if a little bit, and I would definitely know about her due to the waves she makes. So if I see her walk in, Edmund was just like, eating bar nuts, catching all. I just see her and like,
Yes. You see. Sorry, you go.
also weird. The music is stopped playing.
Fucking god damn it! I set it
Yeah,
to loop. I'm gonna kill a motherfucker.
there we go. And now, what was her last name? Yeah, I would say, funny seeing you in a place like this, Miss Hutchins. Did I get that right?
She
Oh,
smirks. She she has her baseball bat like slung up over her shoulder. she chuckles like, it's fancy seeing you here too. Uh, she gestures to the two people. I assume they're with you.
hmm. To say the least, I've to put in a vague sense. I'm definitely one of my places I work in my free time. What brings you to be more specific in this location, you're not really one to start trouble, after all. Although I know no trouble tends to find you.
It's a living. Trouble is sort of around. But you see, she hops up on the bar stool beside you. Those two right there. I was having a conversation with them. And from what I gather,
I
is that
look at them. Just
what I
like,
gather is that you and me have a shared mutual antagonist.
which one?
You got several people gunning for you. Must be exciting last few days. Matthias.
Okay, that does narrow things down a little bit. That'd be the case,
See-
yes. But then
see-
again, old Matthias is currently making a lot of enemies.
Yeah. So you see, seeing as you speak my language a little bit better, a few days back, back probably around the time you started tussling with him too, we could go at this point. He came around where me and the place that me and my girls were hanging out. Hold up. He starts waving that fancy pistol of his around, demanding we do things for him, do work for him. I do my best to diffuse the situation. I'm a people person after all. But ultimately, he's throwing his weight around trying to get. He thinks that just because he has that thing, that it makes him just as good as actual people who know real magic. And it's just very presumptuous, honestly. Besides that, he
You
threatened
have a
me.
special weapon doesn't really mean you have the power.
Not in the slightest. But he threatened me. He threatened my people. I'm not very fond of that. And it seems. What?
No,
Are you laughing in character, or are you laughing at me doing this voice?
No, laughing in character.
All right. If you laugh at me doing the
straight up-
voice, you get a level of exhaustion forever for the rest of the campaign.
No. To say the least, get in line. I think at this point, if everyone who at least seen it has gotten threatened once now, to put it at that point.
Yes. Well, if you where hear it, you tussled some of his people the other day too, around the same time all those raids happened.
Multiple times, actually, at this point.
Nice. But I think we could help each other. You got muscle, I got gadgets. And I have something very special, something I bet you don't have. And she leans in. She's like noticeably shorter than you, so she's like leaning up. I got a lady on the inside.
I just start nodding my head slowly.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
don't you consider that pretty valuable?
Yeah. Lucky for me, she didn't get caught up in any of these here the WSI raids that would happen. She wasn't in any of those places. Thank goodness.
Hopefully she wasn't involved in our previous scuffle.
No. You you wouldn't have walked away so easily if she was there. She wouldn't have fought you anyway. But yeah. Thankfully, Matthias doesn't know my people's faces too well, and he's pretty dumb, honestly. So one of my people, one of my artificers, she's a goblin, and she's blending right in with his people. So he, after what happened the other day, all of those places getting hit, he's been pretty spooked. He's been hard to pin down, been hiding, trying to going from safe houses he has, maybe trying to find some new place to hide that isn't part of his normal network. Seeing as a lot of people, even he doesn't have exact numbers right now, but as far as you can tell, the WSI found most of his people and just captured them. One of the places they got hit, he knows they found a lot of dead people already there, so that's fun. But
You don't
and she gives
say.
like she gives you sort of like a no and like eh. But but I can help narrow down some of the places he might be, some of the places he has some kind of infrastructure. Because right now he's pretty desperate. He's lost quite a bit of man. He built up a lot of manpower, a lot of locations pretty quickly, waving that thing of his around. And now he's down to much less resources, starting to get desperate. If we can wear him down a little bit more, he'll definitely make a big mistake. When someone will take him down.
I mean, he has a lot of people after him at this point. The amount of people I can count probably goes beyond just one hand of fingers.
Well, I can imagine. Being a dickhead like that makes you lots of enemies.
Yes. And when you wave a spectacular weapon around, you also will draw eyes from other places. Higher places.
She raises an eyebrow at that. High
Mm.
places, I see.
To say the least, when you draw too much attention, some of the more fair individuals will definitely get their noses involved.
Oh. I see. Ah, wild stuff. I hadn't heard that. Oh,
Well, the more you know.
He has no idea just how much trouble he's in, does he?
Which is why, if what I think what you have in mind is what you're wanting to do, some level of caution needs to be involved. I'm not talking about the standard measure of caution. After all, if we were to take this fight to him, wherever he may be, we may not be the only players that will come in after everything's taken care of.
That's probably true at this point. Got some very dangerous people working on this. Got the WSI breathing out everyone's necks. But
At this point, I'm starting to think the WSI are probably the least of our worries.
that's a concerning notion. But I have good news. This person I have on the inside, she's been contacting us. She's been leaving like dead drop messages for us, and she got cut off on a last one. She had to be real quick about it because of how crazy it's been inside, and she has to maintain her cover. Expecting a new one sometime tomorrow. I'll hit you guys up so you can see it too. See what we can work out together. Because if there's look, personally, like I can sit here and say I want to kill this guy I don't like. I want to take his stuff because I do. I like killing people and taking their stuff. Especially when it's shiny stuff. But Edmund, you know that's like 70% a joke. There's 30% murders. Just murders for fun. But
You know, I know another halfling who'd get along well with her.
At
good
that
for
point,
Swobo.
I will say one thing. There are many people that currently want to pick a fight with them, but one person, funny enough, is not. Well, one of our guys has dibs on. Even though Mike is not here, I just go, hey, Hidalgo, what's that guy you're looking for again? What's his name? Jeremy? Dave? I don't know. It's one of them. Some random guy really pissed him off. So, I mean, don't want to get in between a giant fisherman and basically a grudge, I guess.
He's fucking dead. Oh right,
he's getting drugs. Yeah,
he's buying drugs.
Yeah, he's just
Right.
like, so
Yes,
who
he
do you
will-
want to have? Who do you have a big issue with, Matthias? Yeah, get in line. No,
he'll
actually, it's Dave, the henchman number 6.
It's he leans back. Oh yeah, a person I want to deal with is Frank. Want to find this Frank guy.
Ah, yeah, Frank.
Teach him a
His
lesson.
name's Frank. If you see a guy named Frank, don't touch him. Hidalgo has tips.
Oh, I respect the rule of dibs. Don't worry about that. Yeah. I am pretty anxious to hear what she has to say. So, actually, I will. She takes the map out of your inventory, puts a spot on it, and puts it back in your inventory. Meet me there sometime like around 2 tomorrow. That's when it should be there.
Noted. Where's
With
the
that,
spot?
she. Oh, can we fucking
More work for you.
fine? I'll actually do it. Where's my? I need like a random ass
That's
fucking.
module.
I've scrolled. My free spinning scroll wheels on. I accidentally went down to the previous campaign stuff. Something like too big. The quest marker is, and then let me turn off fucking stable grid snapping. Like right. Yeah. So that there is the quest marker there for you. And then she will finish her drink, like just, and then leave. Skip off.
Watch her leave. Then when she finally leaves, I'm just like, well, at least this works in my favor for once. I mean, if you get so many curveballs, one of them's actually going to be in your favor. And I got nothing else.
Okay.
Actually,
Well,
no, I have something else. I'm going to look at Jay, and I guess by extension Hidalgo. So, when were you going to tell me you had involvements with her?
I don't even know. She just came into the library, was just talking about bad people, and I said that I was scared of bad people. I didn't know how much relevance it had to anything.
Well, to say the least, the fact that she came and talked to you is both a good thing and also not a good thing. It makes our life easier, but keep in mind her rather eccentric behavior is rather notable in the community.
Is she still there?
she's gone.
Nah,
She left.
she's gone.
Okay, I will ask who she is then.
I will answer this for you, Dylan, in your voice. Well, what she is that's how you sound to me.
Going a little too gravelly with my voice, but go ahead.
Hope Hutchins is an artificer, and a pretty skilled one at that. And she sort of is roughly in charge of sort of this small group of other people. It's sort of a gang-ish. It's relatively small, but it's predominantly a group of basically all of them are women. Basically all of them are artificers in some way, or at the very least are skilled tool people and craftsmen, even if they don't have magic. And they just sort of make stuff. Like sometimes the people will sort of contract them, hire them. People sort of like the engineer to Diedrich's medic. People will sort of various moral dubiousness and legality will ask them to build or repair or upgrade something for them, and they'll do it for a fee. Other times they will do things of their own volition. They're not like a super like aggressive people, especially like compared to, you know, Matthias just sort of waving a gun around being a weirdo about it. But they are you probably summarize them, Edmund, as they are, on the scale of things, they're sort of chaotic news.
They're not the worst people out there.
Yeah.
In fact,
They exist.
if you get on the good side, they are probably some of the best allies you can have. But if
Yeah.
you screw with them, you will probably you will die at one point or another.
Maybe you'll get parcel bombed. Who knows?
Oh no.
I'm gonna fucking get you, Dylan. I'm gonna get you.
Say the
It's a
least.
whole gang of violent Mark Rovers. Oh no.
It is. There's a little bit of crackhead engineer YouTube is sort of going on a little bit. You know.
Yeah, don't tell Harvey that.
I won't.
Anyways, the fact that she approached you and on such terms like that is probably one of the more fortunate circumstances, to say the least. Even though her business is very questionable, as long as you don't have any problems with her, she is definitely not going to have any problems with you. So, just treat it as if you got a little new ally. Unwanted, perhaps, seeing your relatively quiet nature, but hell, at this point, we've got involved in so much shit that you don't really have any chance of living that quiet life anymore. Not for a while, at least. Anyways,
This is a lot less fun than it is in the books.
welcome to my fucking side of the world, bud. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, does anyone have anything? You get another long rest as the day rolls over. Dawn of the fourth
I
day.
get my shit back.
Yeah. Do any of you have anything that you want to do before you go meet up with Hope? Or conversely, do some of you not want to come at all? Hidalgo's sort of like stuck T-posing, like above his spawn point right now.
You just look at him, you can see
I
him
find the
just flip
closest
through a
person with silver glasses and I punch him square in the nose. See what happens.
Okay. Let me just open up her character sheet. Damage. No. I
Close. Your blood boils out of your eyes.
trust me. If you actually run afoul of these people and get to deal with their combat mechanic, you're gonna be. That will happen to you. I told Dylan. Do you remember when I sort of was theory crafting these guys? What I told you my idea for their mechanic was?
Yeah.
Eye boiling.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, you walk out the door and there's an ancient red dragon with silver glasses on the street.
Exactly. Yeah. Open the door. There's a person who has silver glasses and an octopus face. Punch.
Oh.
Oh, lovely. Anyway.
Why is this beholder wearing a
I
silver
yell at him,
monocle?
you dumb magicians can't take me. You and your stupid psionic magic.
I wonder.
It's
Oh, I
just a
wonder.
fucking Avoth just wearing glasses out of nowhere.
Yep.
Anyways. So, I don't think I have anything I would particularly want to do.
All right. Okay. Also, Edmund, roll 3d6.
3d6?
Yes.
For what check are you talking about, sir?
There are no modifiers to this. Just 3d6.
That's a pretty good roll.
Their maximum health is reduced by 140.
Oh man, I hate when
you-
that happens.
You get 14 silver.
Wait, only silver? Man.
So it was work was slower this time around. It's fine.
Where? 14 silver.
You
Oh,
lose
that's
14 silver instead, motherfucker.
Oh, I can't believe it got fucking pickpocketed of both my fucking pay and my wallet.
Yep.
And it was
Yes.
14 silver, not Electrum, has been added. If I have Electrum on
Yes.
my person, that'd be very sketch.
It would be. That'd be something to worry about. It's there and you don't know why. Like, oh god, She was in pickpocketing range. I didn't notice.
Alright. 14 silver has been added to my wallet.
Do any of you want to do anything before you go see? Okay.
Nope.
I got nothing, sir.
All right. Well, I will say you make it to this place. Hidalgo's not here. He's busy. Who knows what he does? But the three of you, or Jay, if you want to be here, it's
You got
whoever
a text telling him to meet in the basketball court at 9 p.m.
Correct. So the three of you were able to make your way there, sort of walk your way through the crowds, past the shops and stuff, uneventfully. And the place that is marked on your map is like there's like an alleyway, like a narrow sort of like 10-foot wide alleyway between these two buildings, connects two streets. And on the inside of it is, first of all, Hope is there, like in this alleyway space. And also just both sides of this alley are covered with graffiti. Like various, like there what seems to be like maybe people's names, or there's tags, there's just people like writing in chalk or paint like so and so is here. There's a universal S over there. Just sort of stuff around. And when all three of you approach, Hope gestures over, and she is standing in front of a picture that's on this wall. That is, it seems to be like some kind of mammal, like a sort of a stylized picture. Oh, Hidalgo shows up, or is it someone else? Yes. Okay.
Oh, man, it's a
Hidalgo-
Banksy.
Yes,
Don't
Yes.
worry, Hidalgo. I killed Frank already. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
What?
The most animated and
Show me the VOD. Show me the VOD.
Jeez.
No, no.
Nice try. I don't believe you.
You
Nice. That reaction was instant.
it was.
What?
How
So
could you
Hidalgo,
do that?
You show up. You show up a bit late, Hidalgo. So you see your three friends in this alleyway with Hope, and you walk up to them, and Hope is standing beside this. Among all these various pictures and drawings, there's like this, somewhat stylized, like made in very different colors, sort of like a. I'm sure it's being sort of bubble art like. This rough shape of like some kind of animal. It looks like it might be a dog or a cat of some kind.
Okay.
And and now that everyone's here, Hope will make like a gesture with her hand, and then this picture of some kind of pet animal moves along the wall. And will like it's like starts like in like a sitting position, and then it will stand up, it will stretch its back the way cats do. And then it will, with its like claws at the end of its little drawn on hands, like sketch this sort of like a series of sort of like hash marks and dots that none of you can immediately discern what they mean, but Hope sort of nods along with it. And then the message finishes, and then the drawing sort of goes into like a sitting position and stands still again. And Hope will look at it for a second. All right. So she says here. Yeah. If you want, Jay, you can roll Arcana to try and understand this magic better, but you don't have to if you don't care.
Of course, Jay would want to do that.
Okay, that's why I offered it.
All right.
Ah.
I know everything.
You are familiar with, there are a handful of spells that can sort of convey a specific message to a specific person. Like Animal Messenger and Magic Mouth are both spells that you know of. What you're seeing right here seems to be some sort of bespoke variant of one of those spells. Whereas instead of being words, it is conveyed visually through this living picture.
Interesting.
But it's not a spell that Jay knows, and it seems to be something like the idea that someone on the streets made up a whole spell on their own may be unlikely, but with enough effort, modifying an existing spell to be a bit more in theme is something that's possible with enough work, and that seems to be what this is, some sort of like heavily modified version of Magic Mouth.
Oh man, they have the Unearthed Arcana from before they decided that modifying spells wasn't a good thing to give players.
So yeah, they that happens, and she sort of nods and she looks at this happening. All right, that's weird. So this is in code, obviously. It's a bit more information than it just seems. Like it's not just like a basic cipher. She lists out here a couple places that they've consolidated their resources to a couple locations. She hasn't. She thinks she knows the places Matthias might end up being. There's a few places, but there's this right here, and see, this worries me, right? This says he started. Now he's been trying to like get people to understand this gun, right? He very dumb. The people around him equally dumb, so they can't put it together, right? But he's trying his hardest to try and make more of this weapon or understand it, because he's paranoid and understands that if he doesn't have that gun, he just has a bunch of problems he's made. He's that self-aware and nothing. Anyway, this says here he's been experimenting not with the weapon, but with the problems it makes. He's been trying to summon and contain more elementals.
That sounds dangerous.
It is. And then she lists a couple places where he's been working that out.
Alright, Katie. Come here.
It says that he tried summoning something actually kind of nearby here, actually. We could go check that out, see if there's anything he left behind. Crickets.
Was looking out a cat. Alright.
That's fair. Deserved.
Edmund says as he closes the door to the building that's beside them. Alright. So, with all that in mind, what do you think is the best course of action here to investigate first?
Well,
So,
there's
But-
one place that's real close. Did you catch? Do you mean me to repeat myself, or did you catch everything?
I caught most of it. Cat distracted me.
Okay.
So,
That is what delivered the message. A cat.
and from what I also understand is Matthias himself is doing experiments on this weapons. On
He's.
this weapon.
There's only so much information this message can contain. We made this code to put more knowledge into it per message, but as far as I can gather, he recognized that his weapon was able to provoke whatever things going on in the city right now, and he's been
And
trying
he's doing
to do,
experiments with that in mind
He-
too.
he's trying to do it again. He thinks he can. I have to infer now, but I imagine he's either trying to supplement his lack of forces, or he's just becoming desperate and is really eager to throw some kind of weight around.
So he's basically stirring way too much trouble for his britches, and now thinks that if he can repeat it, he'll have anarchy in a pistol.
From what this says, it seems to imply he thinks he can control it. Like he wants to have,
Of course.
he wants to have very fancy guard dogs, as far as I can tell.
And obviously, that did not work out the last time we had an encounter with him, because they
No.
certainly did not listen and killed his own men. So, basically, my assumption, he thinks he has the power of anarchy within his pistol, and he's probably going to try to weaponize it. And
Yeah.
as all hubris works in all of those storybooks that we read, it's always going to bite you in the ass.
Books.
Right,
If-
you are.
And
But
for
she lists.
Matthias, he sure as hell ain't going to realize it until it's too late.
Right. So, way I see it, yeah. She lists a few places that he's done some things. I can compile it into something that's more readable to you guys in a second. But one of the places is like 2 blocks that way, and it's one of the places he was doing experiments trying to make elementals or work on elementals, summon or something.
So in other words, the best choice we should pick is the furthest one to screw over the DM. Let's go with the closest one.
Let me. I,
How
Dylan.
much psychic damage am I taking?
Dylan, I swear, where is it? It's in here somewhere. Let me just. Where is it? It's in here. It's in here. Let me. There's it. You found. Yeah.
Somewhere nearby, he fires
Yeah.
the gun. It
Yeah.
summons an ancient
Fight!
red dragon.
Fight this, motherfuckers! Die! Okay. What happened?
I've
Yeah, there we go.
updated my stats.
Yeah, you're dead now.
Oh,
well,
no.
you're dead.
Stakes is
Almost.
one dead.
Yeah, almost dead.
Oh! Your speed's reduced by 25 instead of just being reduced to 0.
Every single level of exhaustion reduces your movement speed by 5 and all of your d20 rolls by 2.
Oh, so they updated them all specifically.
Yeah, exhaustion is just the same thing, like over and over again as the level goes up.
Noted.
In the UA,
Well, until it kills you.
it's stacked up to 10 to like the 10th stack is what killed you. I think I prefer that. Honestly. If we get into a situation where you guys start dying, I might use that. Because I like that, because if you have 10 stacks, then you would minus your d20 tests by 20, which means they don't work anymore. And I think that's sort of that makes sense. Also, you would have to sit there for several days resting before you can walk again, which is also funny. I mean, technically, Hidalgo's fine. Like he starts at 35 and gets he's at 45 feet of movement right. So,
Monks.
fucking monks, yeah. So, yeah, she will take you to this place. You cut through another alley, go around a bend, and the place that she leads you to, it makes her stop even for a second, is like behind like several layers of like fencing, and there's some like a big sign on it with the WSI's little hexagonal logo and danger, high voltage, as like there's this in between two buildings is like this power, sort of like this big substation transformer thing. None of you know electricity enough to know what it does, and I don't either. But it's just something that manages the power grid in this section of town. And she sort of like leans on her baseball bat and like throws her chin. It says he was here. That's fucking wild. I hear it. It's in my brain. Like I hear the music, Dylan.
Why is it not playing? Wait, did the tab mute?
Wait,
How
no,
I muted it?
I hear
I
the music.
hear it too. I'm a moron. How did it mute?
The game
That's
hates
okay,
all of this.
I hear it now too. I don't know how. Wait, is there a hotkey to mute tabs that I press without realizing it? No, there's not. How the fuck did it mute? I guess I'll figure out later. Anyways,
We will never know.
all right.
Oh,
anyways,
I think if you click on the little sound thing on the tab, it will mute it.
I think. Wait, hold on.
So,
If I move
yeah,
yes, that's what happened because I was paging.
I've done that before. Like
beyond.
click back into a browser and accidentally click on that and mute the tab.
Yeah, that explains why. Okay, because I was switching between my fucking D&D Beyond. Okay, I was like, man, it sure is quiet. I wonder if I realized. Nope, it's fucking me. Anyways, carry on, Mr. DM. So we grew up into the building with the transformer and all that.
You walk up to it. Hope seems to be a bit perplexed by it, because like this seems like obviously this man's insane at this point, but even this seems a bit weird. But I want you, Edmund, to roll perception,
Perception.
and then if you fail, we might pass it on to someone else. So just do it one at a time.
15. Should I roll more than that, sir?
I think a 15 is enough to see that there's there's this big, like, it's like 10 feet tall, big chain fence. It's like blocking this off. And then inside of it, there's another like proper like metal fence, even deeper in. You can see very subtly where the chain fence like meets its corner to the building adjacent to it. There's a couple places where the chain links have been cut. And it's hanging just a little bit loose.
No, dude. I kind of just like look at it. Looks like we ain't the first ones here.
After you
Try
point it out,
straight to the cut.
yeah, Hope will like look down at it, and then with the tip of her baseball bat will push, and the place where the cut, it like enough for someone to sort of squeeze through.
Up there, happy there it goes again. Yep, so now I know what's meeting is. Alright. With that in mind, I'm just going to look at plus. Ladies first.
In I go.
Okay,
I don't know what we're doing.
you squeeze your way in.
We're walking into the hole in the fence that she can probably just like walk normally through.
Yes.
Probably not that slow. Well, but yeah. Oh, Hidako is gonna have to worm his way in.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Army
definitely a tighter squeeze for all of you, and especially Hidalgo, to make your way through without needing to make any sort of saves. But now that you're all inside of here, Hope will be like, okay, clearly they've been in here, and they've done something. Let's keep an eye around, see if anything is going on, see what we can find. And I want you all to draw a card from your deck.
I play Pot of Greed.
Hey, there is a deck mechanic in this.
There is. I want you to yes, every single one of you, all four of you, I want you to roll perception or investigation or something like that. It's just perception. Perception. No, everyone pick either perception or investigation, whichever you feel like.
What if I feel like clicking insight?
They're both
die.
bad.
Oh.
I rolled average.
Oh! Why? Okay, so when I go to my D&D Beyond tab, it actually notifies me when people make rolls.
Yeah, I don't understand how Beyond 20 works.
Oh, so if I roll... That's persuasion. That's persuasion. They have this. They're both. Anyways, I get minus a +4 with that, so I get 16.
Okay.
they both look the same, but at a
They
glance.
do.
Anyways, I'm proficient in both.
Okay. I would say the collectively of all five of you sort of looking around this, there doesn't you don't initially see anything. You just sort of seems to be like things that just sort of make sense to be here. There's like little bits of sort of light trash that has blown in. Maybe a couple. There's the signage. There's like a tool that whoever was here actually working here has sort of discarded without putting away properly, and will get written up for at some point. But with all the rolls here, I would say that the highest person here is, you said 14 instead, right, Edmund?
No, mine's a +4, so it would be a
Oh,
16.
16. Okay, yeah.
Mine's a
You were-
14 or 12.
Okay. All right. I would say that you see into like you brush something aside, like a bit of trash, you kick it with your foot, and you see in the ground, like near the interior, like proper metal fence, is like something scratched into the floor, like it's clearly like a distinct pattern of some kind, like carved into the cement, the asphalt of the ground.
Mm. I'll look at it.
Okay. It's hard for you specifically to place what it is.
My
But it's
investigation is pretty low.
Yeah, but if you gesture to your friends over to it, like it's the more you look at it, the more you like it covers like basically one whole full like 5 by 5 foot tile has these in it. It's just that they were sort of subtly lost in the just grain of the cement. But now you're seeing it. You can you've like noticed it for real. You can see and sort of clear some stuff out of the way and like see it more clearly. And you gesture people over. Jay, you are gestured over and you see this. This looks like it's the elemental language. And I will let you cast comprehend languages on it as a ritual.
Excellent. Alright, guys, give me 10 minutes.
Okay. While he casts that spell, his 10-minute cast of the spell,
Actually, wait. Comprehend languages. I guess you said you're letting me cast it as a ritual, but it's not actually a ritual spell. I thought it was.
it isn't? I swear to God, comprehend language is a ritual.
It does not say ritual.
It
on it.
was. Maybe it isn't anymore.
Let me check the PHB. I thought it was.
Been bamboozled, hoodwinked, had the wool pulled over your eyes.
Yeah, I'm also confused when I saw that. So.
I am looking at it. I see the R tag right here,
Oh, it's not showing up for me in.
like
D&D
on your
Beyond,
actual spell list.
Yeah.
Weird, but it
Yeah,
is.
it says so in the. I just opened up the PHP and yeah, let's say. Well, I don't know. All right,
Okay.
ritual then.
Chug.
I'm very
But,
confused by why it's not showing up for me. But
Yeah, but
all right, 10 minutes later.
yes. While that 10-minute cast is happening, I will.
Yeah, why?
I will ask Hidalgo to roll perception, specifically Hidalgo, roll perception with advantage.
You hear that, Ocean Man?
Ocean Drake.
Man. Oh no.
No, that's not real. That's not real.
No, it's not.
Aw. Aw,
Okay.
I was excited for a
14.
moment.
Yeah, you
14.
just 20. You just typed in 20 plus 4.
Maybe.
Me.
That's a 20. I hope no one pays attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Hidalgo, you know things because you are a sea man. You know things about the ocean and the sea.
Yes.
You like. You like as you're sort of standing here waiting, the wind like picks up and is feels like a sort of unusually strong wind. Just like a brief moment in time, while you're sort of standing here. It's like it just feels like something that sort of you just noticed a bit odd. You can't really place like why.
There's a storm a brewing.
But so yeah. So you cast comprehend languages on this, and it is complete gibberish. Like, you can say definitively with that, like, you're able to pretty easily figure it out once you're looking at it, that clearly he has taken the symbols that were on his gun and just sort of carved parts of them or chunks of them in different patterns and ways on this thing. So that, like, what's written on here doesn't make any sense. Like, as you translate it in your mind, it's just sort of like there's words and letters and numbers and But clearly, someone who, you can say definitively that someone who had a sample of the elemental language but did not speak it or could read it at all was here and tried to do something here with this big power station.
Okay, I don't know why it's not showing up as a ritual. I'm guessing it's because I get it from the magic initiate feat,
Maybe.
but it still should show up as being able to cast with a ritual because I can use spell slots on it, but I can also just cast it once a day without using anything, so I'll just do that.
Yeah, I mean, yes. That is bizarre. But, like,
Yeah,
hey,
it could, it's just some weird interaction on D&D Beyond, I guess.
I mean, like, the way the ritual tag works now, like, it's fine. It's all good. But yeah, do you, now that you have all have seen this and know that it is this, do any of you want to try and do anything to these symbols? Maybe look for other clues?
I know. I probably don't want to mess with them.
Do any of them look like the black whale symbol?
No.
Have
The
we
symbol
seen-
for the black whale is not in any language that anyone knows.
Did we
Where's
see
the
these
shop?
symbols anywhere else, like in the warehouse, anything like that?
You all saw little snippets of the elemental language back. I don't know if you recall. It was a long time in real time ago because I'm bad. But when you went with Kreia for the first time to, like, sort of investigate the burned ruins of that place that the elementals burned down,
Mhm.
the elementals themselves had, like, carved things into the walls in their language, and you saw snippets of that. And this is clearly that same script, just, wrong.
Just written by someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes. Right here on the floor is the equivalent of people who get, like, just, like, these Japanese arm tattoo sleeves that fucking mean nothing.
Also, looking through my stuff, I realized what it is. It's specifically to cast a spell as a ritual. I need to be casting it out of my book, and that's not in my book because it's a feat. So I technically can't cast it as a ritual, but I can cast it for free once a day.
Oh,
That's
so in other words, it
fair.
did not take 10 minutes.
No,
yeah,
it
it
doesn't.
did not take 10 minutes.
We figured it out, everybody. Yay.
Oh, I need 10 minutes. Wait, it's on my
Video-
book, I just know it.
Video games.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Oh, so
Yeah. So,
you know, I'll do what Plus is doing and look at like elsewhere for some things like this.
okay.
Just not going to interfere with the specific symbols, because I
Right.
don't. Even if it may be incorrect, I still want to be the cause of a second.
Second impact.
Yeah, a second wave of elementals.
Yeah, Jay just kind of like reads it and scratches his head. It's just like, yeah, it definitely wasn't written by elementals. I don't think whoever wrote this had any clue what they're doing.
Okay. So you, I will say, since you know what you're looking for now, and you all rolled okay, I would say you can spend, like, a few more, like, 10-ish minutes sort of scouting around in here, and you'll see a few more of these sort of chicken scratch, meaningless symbols carved around here. You also can see near some of them what seem to, now once you, like, find them, they're pretty subtle, honestly, but now you find the sort of these smaller clusters of them. Some of them seem to be stained with some kind of maybe ink or oil of some kind.
Ink or oil? You said.
Yeah, it's like it's something thick and dark. It might even be like tar or pitch, even. but it's this thick, dark sort of thing splattered on the walls near here that doesn't seem like it should be. It seems somewhat incorrect in this setting.
Oh no, he's trying to summon the tar.
Oh. I'm gonna scratch some of it off with my finger and just like give it a small sniff to see if it's like what I think it is. Because if it's like oil, it would it would smell like oil, and tar and all that have that distinct smell too, like almost rubbery, but not quite.
Right. If you do that, make a con save. No. It's
Con save, you say? I'm
it's
good at that.
yeah, it's definitely it seems to be some kind of like tar, something
I
like
wipe it
that.
off my pants.
Yeah.
So it's like splattered all over the walls. Is what you're describing it?
It looks like it might have maybe less like splattered, like flecks, like it was sort of maybe smeared is a better word for it. Like someone was trying to take something, sort of
What are the size of these smears?
like maybe just like 2 fingers from like a medium-sized humanoid.
Okay. Maybe I could. Is it alright if I can roll investigation to see if I can discern anything else from this? Any signs or intent? Because
Sure.
it does seem haphazard and random. My investigation is shit, but
Okay.
my rolls in non-combat is not.
Correct.
19.
You investigate more. From what you can gather, it seems like the obvious question, the obvious thing is that someone like he took the symbols, the magic symbols that were on his gun, and either he himself or he gave them to people and just told them to carve them into a place that was but these smears of whatever this is, you can maybe infer or gather that it's possible that they were trying to make a fire elemental happen by taking something flammable and putting it near the fire words.
So and also the carvings and stuff over by the transformers, like they're trying to fulfill an air element
Yeah.
condition.
You
So with all this, do I see anything else with that in mind, like carvings near puddles?
Edmund, roll Arcana.
Oh, I'm not good at that. I would like to use my heroic inspiration for this.
Okay, so re-roll the die. Just no pluses or minuses. Just roll a new d20. Ba 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 ba.
What if I use my tactical mind?
You do have the hated luck point, which would let you apply advantage.
Oh, I would like to do that again and remove the cursed luck point. That would probably be much better to use in a situation where, with combat, who gives a fuck? I'm not combat class.
Yes. Roll
luck point deleted.
No. Roll another d20, and if it's high,
fuck it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hold on. Tactical mind. I'm rolling it.
No. I just say no. You failed. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm not done with all my resources.
Okay, fine. Keep spending charges.
One more.
Okay.
It's a
so
14.
With advantage. No, that third dice was with advantage.
16.
Okay. I will say, with a you spent so many things.
I'm a non-combat class. I need to make it worth my while.
Fucking guess. So what I was testing your character.
You wasn't planning on putting us into combat, but now that all your resources are gone,
you Edmund, do know you picked it up somewhere that lightning is associated with air element. But you're not sure if these people know that. With that high investigation roll, you get that either they thought, well, you see, lightning's hot, right? So makes fire, right? And like that logic, or they just did somewhere that was big and like stuff happened there. Like you get the impression that like yes, air elementals was not something that crossed these people.
So it's like so you think like markings near puddles of water or something like that, or other stuff.
Yeah, that they don't know.
Or,
It just seems
or they probably just care only about the fire part.
yeah, it seems that the fire thing seems to be their primary motivation because the gun, you only ever saw it shoot a fire bullet clean through Jay, like in one side, out the other, like a Star Wars blaster bolt. Just
Yeah, except that it hit me.
True.
Clean through, sir.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Anyways, with that, I'm just gonna say out loud, these people have absolutely no idea what they're doing, and I guess I consider that to be one of our greatest things to be thankful for.
I wouldn't speak too soon. I mean, obviously, this isn't going to achieve whatever they were trying to do, but I've learned in my line of work that idiots are really good at causing things they don't understand.
I guess the thing I should specify is they haven't done anything yet.
That's true. That's a good point.
So we got a little bit of extra time before, because you know about monkeys and typewriters. Eventually they'll get things right.
That's true.
They'll end up typing shaken gnome.
Alright.
Typewriters exist
No,
here?
Gnome
also-
sphere.
Jay will also ask, since he seems to know more about how they operate, if they have any associations with like wizards or anyone who could help them actually not be stupid about this. Because if so, that would be worrying.
Matthias actively like threatened me to try and help him, specifically because he didn't know anybody else who knew magic the way we did. Most of his people are pretty low on the. Not all the lights are on, you see.
Rules in the chat.
They're below 10 on a scale of 0 to 20 on their intelligence.
I would say so, yeah.
They're
Definitely not higher
all
than
the way up to
11.
the top floor.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least good.
But which that means we're also on the clock. If they're doing all these experiments of millions, that we need to stop them before they get it right. But if they do get it right, there's a good chance that they'll probably fix the work for us and get themselves killed. But they're going to deal with an elemental problem.
Yeah. I am going against my better judgment. I'm going to ask Jay.
Uh-oh. How do I say uh-oh? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's fucking
Hi,
dead.
Rita.
Yes.
Oh no, I was just waiting for you to ask your question.
Okay. I want you to roll percentile dice. Or, just roll a
Alright.
d20. Roll a d20. It's easier. Just roll a d20.
Alright.
Basically, percentage.
You mean you don't want me to pull out my actual D100?
Dear God, no.
Alright.
All right.
20. Yeah. Okay, you do pretty well with that.
That's 2 nat 1s and 2 nat 20s so far this session.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Alright.
So. Yeah. You can look around for a little bit more, but you seem to have. There doesn't seem to be anything of any other physical evidence here as you sort of look around. Just these sort of weird scratches and stuff.
For reasons unknown, Jay is just all of a sudden like, hey, I feel something bad could have happened, but it didn't.
The night is still young.
Jay's just like, oh, that's not how they're supposed to do it. They're supposed to do this marking here, this marking here. Fire portal.
Yep. Okay. If I will say that the quest marker has popped up that you've probably found everything. If you want to keep fiddling around, you can maybe see it, but you seem to have exhausted this place as a resource.
There are no more marks on the compass for more gibberish to read.
Doesn't seem to be any, no.
Alright. I guess we head back to the bar.
Okay. Well, you leave the you go back through the fence and close it behind you.
Oh yeah.
And
Back
Hope-
to the boobly bobbly.
Hope will say, well, I'm gonna go. I gotta transcribe that message down, try and organize a plan of where we can go. I'll catch up with you. Probably we might be able to divide the labor. There's a few places.
I guess Jay will maybe, I don't know, write down like a few of the random gibberish things he saw to look at later to try to put together like some kind of pattern that they had. Or if they're just really not thinking about it at all.
All right. As you're writing this down, this big tower that you're next to with all these power lines coming from it along its length, like this sort of spark. It was nowhere near you guys, but it just sort of makes you jump for a second.
Just look down at the paper, look up at the power line. Yeah, maybe I should stop writing things down.
Oh. Yeah, I draw my weapon. I aim my shotgun at it before stopping. Like, Jesus Christ.
Shoot the power line. How high could its AC be?
That could have been next to us.
It was only like it didn't hit the ground. It was just arcing between itself. For
But,
now.
we could have been near that.
Yeah, you leave quickly. And
Yeah,
Hope
that's
puffs
skedaddle.
her away, and you all can head back to whatever it is you were doing.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to the bar. It's like basically our hideout at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
After all, where else would adventurers go?
Yeah, except for the tavern, which is a
Yep.
bar.
It's a pub, actually.
Tavern, inn, bar, and pub all technically mean different things.
You called it a pub.
I did. I'm right. All of you can fuck yourself.
I called it a
Yeah.
pub.
No, you're just right. Like, I shouldn't be mean to you, but I'm gonna do it
Well,
anyway. Dungeon Master, I can do whatever I
I'm
want.
calling it the baggly boogly.
This
I mean,
well
like,
deserved.
we
Eat
agreed
at
that
a
that's what,
jazz bar.
we agreed that that's what it is. Like, you asked me what it was called, and I said the Bibbledy Bobble because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here. Yeah. The Bringledy Brongus.
Fuck.
So
It just has
Well,
like a magical nameplate outside that just changes every time you walk up.
You know, like one of those hard things, with the hollow projection where if you look at one side, it shows one thing. You look at the other, it's the other. It's the same for the bar name.
exactly.
You know, it's the pub of requirement. It's named whatever you need it to be named.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So you all convene back at the bar. You've all
Pub.
gathered some information. I will let the four of you discuss amongst yourselves while I go resupply myself again because I'm low fucking resource meters.
Ah,
Oxygen. Boop boop.
oxygen is necessary for survival.
So what have we learned?
These people are absolute dumbasses.
These guys are dumb.
So Dipstick has a fire gun, did something crazy once, and now he's trying to recreate the crazy using scribbles.
Mm-hmm. He's writing magical gibberish and hoping that it will make magic happen.
Okay, what are the chances that he actually does that, though?
Uh,
He
That's
just
more likely than we might think.
will he just suddenly stumble across
we'll
nuclear
have to,
launch codes?
ask the DM what I think the odds are he's back.
Okay, well, Jay, you knowing this stuff, could you write down magical gibberish and make something explode?
Well, the last time I tried writing down their magical gibberish, like an hour ago, things started exploding.
Hmm.
So, you know.
Well then. We probably shouldn't do that then. We should probably find him and make him stop. Before he stumbles across the nuclear launch codes.
Unleash pure pandemonium and anarchy, basically. Yes, clearly we're on a timer.
Okay, so pandemonium is kind of loosely based off of Pandora's box, right? So we don't have Pandora's box here. We have Gnomedora's box. So Gnome Demorium.
I
You know what?
do you really want to change our entire language based on every piece of
Yes,
mythos
damn
that
it!
would not exist? We're gonna have
Look,
to completely rework
Latin
the
is
top
just
language.
gnomish. Just redo it all.
Pandora comes from, well, it probably comes from Greek via Latin. I don't know. I don't remember if Pandora's the actual Greek name.
Unless they were talking about the cute fuzzy creatures, pandas.
Yeah, I don't think
they're
they
pretty
knew about them
chaotic.
at the time. Well, actually, I don't know. Rome did trade with China. I don't know if anyone there knew about pandas. I don't know if they bothered telling them. So were we supposed to
I think so.
Mayhaps.
I got a crazy conspiracy theory.
Uh-oh.
Doing bits.
Mike, or in other words, the doggo has a theory on what's happening.
I'm concerned.
If he doesn't want to say it, I can say it.
What
I'm
happened?
not stopping you.
What if all the places that were hit by the WSI actually are connected to each other, where if you put them all together, it'll be formed something like a pentagram?
Wait a minute. Jarvis, map every location the WSI has hit.
No, it's not Jarvis anymore. It's Friday.
Yeah, he was also suggesting that maybe the words don't make sense because they're meant to connect to all the other areas and form some kind of code where they make sense together.
Yeah, that's why contextually you need all 5 locations text to decipher. I don't know what's going on.
me turning to the camera. This, ladies and gentlemen,
Write that
so you have
down.
to be
Write
very
that
careful what
down.
information you give to your players, because they will just pick the random shit.
Inwardly, you're like, well, time to change the plot to this one now. I like this better. Not the first time I've done that.
That's fair. That's fair.
This guy's random name is Steve. He's just going to be a villain number 1. Players come up with a big conspiracy. Fuck it. I'm going with that plan. Steve is now BBEG number 1.
Yes.
Steve is 5 letters.
Also
the
known
devil
as
is 5 letters. Oh my god.
the Maboden book bandit phenomenon.
Oh no!
Hey,
Wait,
technically, it's
that,
not real in the
that's
end.
The Mapoden
the
book bandit
Maboden book
has the
bandits.
best payoff possible.
The
Dylan
Maboden book
played the
bandits
showed up and
long
they got
sound
con.
like
killed.
that sounds like those should be Jay's number 1 concern. That sounds scarier than anything he's seen so far.
Oh
Not the
no.
book bandit.
Specifically, bandits that steal books. That sounds horrible.
Conveniently, you don't know of anywhere called Mapodia.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness. And I don't plan on ever going there. I don't want people stealing my books.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
You need them. You need them to cast magic and have friends.
Hey, listen.
Mhm.
Only books they care about stealing are the gold ones that.
Wait, you're
probably
telling me I
make
can have
sense.
friends?
And he's all out of magic.
And of course, you can have friends. You can cast Find Familiar.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. I forgot I had a cat with me this whole time.
All right. Okay, so
Yes.
do you have anything else you want to do with this day? But just beyond just today, do you have it now that you've gathered a bit of information? Do you want to action on any of it, or are you just going to wait for your contacts to reach out to you? Bearing in mind, you now have multiple contacts with different sets of information. You can use this as you like.
Hmm. About what contacts would I have?
It feels like we should probably act sooner rather than later because these guys are in the process of accidentally blowing up the city, probably.
Nah.
Yeah. So we should probably narrow down where their next location is and figure out what's going on, and probably stop them before they do anything, because otherwise we'll have another elemental calamity on our hands.
Well, I guess on the positive note, if they blow up the city, we can all just go live on Hidalgo's boat.
Yeah, I know, right? We can start a new adventure.
Do we have a map of Wayport and the 5 locations of the places that got raided?
I need to stop grabbing the background. I never said 5. 5 is a number you're making up. I just said a few.
A few is a 5. Both
No, it
start with
isn't.
the letter F.
You
They
need
also
the,
both have the letter E.
have you considered like therapy? Maybe decaf?
He
Something.
Think that's
I don't know what
offered in Wayports.
he has
Oh,
just
right.
as good an understanding of this language as these other guys do of the elemental language. I don't know what you're talking
That is not a good bar to be at.
about.
Okay, how about we go ask somebody who is aware about the number of places that were raided?
We do have the WSI contacts, I think.
We have Miss Freya. who has yet to update us on circumstances.
That's true. You have no idea what she's been up to.
Of course not.
I mean, so let me present it to you. You have the people, like the named characters you have right now. Is Hope has an informant on the inside, and she is currently decoding a message from them. Kreia has Grikella captive, and they're who knows what horrifying things they have in a school. Maybe they're making her do fucking math homework. But
Just writes on a
and
fucking chalkboard, I will not commit crimes anymore. I will not commit crimes anymore.
and then you have the Inquisitor, who you don't know what information she has, but you know that she's around and that she
I
has sort of agreed to work with you.
I mean, I did just tell her if she has anything, she knows where to reach out to us. And I don't feel particularly inclined to be the one to reach out to her.
That's fair.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking call up. I mean, hey, Nigel, you got a payphone in here?
Actually, yes, I have a upstairs. I have a phone you could use.
All right, gonna need to borrow that one real quick.
Okay,
I'm gonna go upstairs.
all right. You are able to.
Pull out the card. 5 minutes later.
Yes.
So here there were these 5 different places rated. Can you tell me about?
The takes a little bit longer for her to pick up. Like the phone rings for a little while. Eventually picks it back up. Hello, yes, this is the uh this is Kreia here, secretary to the dean of the Institute of Extraordinary Studies. How can I help you?
Hey, it's Edmund here. Want to get an update on what you found?
Oh, good. I was planning on reaching out to you guys soon. Um, have you guys found anything? Well, I have some notes here. Let me get them.
Uh, well, we did a little bit of investigating on our part. To say the least, our little friend is in the process of trying to start another surprise elemental event. Lots of random etchings and scratches of elemental symbols near sources of elements, seemingly trying to create another situation. No success yet, but already concerned that he's trying to have a repeat.
Oh, yeah, that is. We didn't. This must be some new development with how desperate he's been getting, because we haven't heard of him. From what we know, he was considering it, but it seemed like a risky endeavor from Grukella's perspective. Um,
Now, after all, some of his places already got raided, so I wouldn't be surprised
I
if he's
heard about
desperate
that.
now.
Yeah. Um, unfortunately, uh, because of that, we are technically working with outdated information from Grikella, but it's been a bit of effort, but she has started to become more forthcoming with information. We have been able to get a couple a list of various locations that they have some sort of holdover. Some of those can be crossed off as places that the WSI has already investigated. I was planning on finding some way to get like a courier to take that information written down to Nigel's bar or a pub or something to that effect. I hmm. I guess that's all we really have right now, seeing as he's gone through a pretty radical shift with this recent loss of resources. So, but I guess having this very reliable first-hand information, even if it is outdated, will still help you narrow it down, perhaps.
Any pieces of info on the hideouts, anything we could make use of to
Well,
help narrow things down.
uh, again, I can get you there like an exact list. I was working on finding a way to get that sent over clandestinely, but I guess the thing that's perhaps equally important is what she as his second. She's his second, and what she knows about his overall strategy. And right now, he's made a lot of enemies and got a lot of attention with using that device of his. And he definitely seems to. Last time she spoke to him, he seems to be starting to recognize that he was getting in over his head and was trying to develop a specific strategy, partially around trying to find a way to harness that weapon's power for more than just the handful of shots it has in it by its default. And clearly that's only escalated. I don't think that he and the people he's working for by necessarily maybe if they had access to a skilled artificer or wizard, maybe. But I don't think the people he usually employs have the resources to actually understand this technology, this magic, and how to replicate it.
It's
But
also safe to assume that he himself don't really know much about it either.
I know. But I can say that if he is actively trying to replicate elemental magic and summoning of things, eventually he will succeed because it is still happening throughout the city periodically, just random incursion events. Uh, the full extent, like, people, not me, I'm doing this, but other people here at the Institute, various teams are trying to understand what exactly this anomaly is, what's happening, why, where. There's still a lot of unknowns right now. We have very limited sample size. So that can't be allowed to continue because we genuinely don't know how bad it could be.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the biggest part is knowing where he is, or at least places that he has left. So, if you find anything like that, inform us ASAP through any
Yes.
means you can.
Yeah. I think I might be able to get like some kind of letter sent over to you by courier, and then you can compare that to maybe use that as a starting point. Compare that. I'll keep the places that have already been rated off the list, and just have that written down for you so you can work from there. Use what other information you have.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. I got nothing else then.
All
Well,
right then.
I got nothing else then, so I'll hang up.
Okay.
All right. I use my resource card.
All right. Well, in that case, nothing else really to do today, unless anyone else has anything to do. Edmund, you can get all the charges you spent back except the luck point. The luck point is finite; it's gone forever.
Fog! On the luck point being gone, by the way.
Rip.
I thought you didn't want it.
I know, that's what I said. Pog! It's gone.
Oh, I heard fug. No.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, Pog.
Okay, good.
Heroic inspiration back.
Yes. So
Uh,
I would say, sometime over the course of the following day, sort of early, like around lunchtime, noontime, uh, both Hope doesn't actually deliver it herself. She sends the list of places, sort of it's not a full translation, but sort of a transcription of the places that her contact on the inside was able to narc down of places that Matthias has consolidated his resources. And she sends it with a note saying that she and her people are organizing, ready to do something to try and maybe make some moves themselves. And there's a second list that comes from Kreia, and there's some overlap between them. There are specifically the one that Hopes comes with notes a few places that he has after the raids sort of decided to abandon, and those are on the list Kreia has. And also Hopes has a couple that Krea's doesn't. but there are some places that are on both, and they are sort of dotted throughout. There's a couple sort of places along the docks, sort of like warehouses and places to try and store and operate boats. He's still holding some of those, although he used to have more. Um, all of the big warehouses seem to have been taken out. So there's a few sort of basically like residential areas, like apartments that he has either rented or is stolen and is squatting in, that he's hoarding resources in. There's another one that specifically that Hope has written down is a place he's trying to consolidate as perhaps a new safe, like an entirely new place, sort of maybe turning it into a bit of a last stand or a new base, just a new focal point, maybe. How important it is to the operation is a bit unclear, but it's somewhere in the undercity, in the network of tunnels and mines underneath it, is seems to be like a partially or never used sort of intersection point, like just a place where a bunch of sort of underground cables and pipes and like sort of like maintenance tunnels intersect.
Mm. That would be pretty
Yeah.
good
There
place
are
to check out.
there are like that's sort of the big one. Some of the other places are around are again like a smaller in scope, just like small apartments that are maybe just like basically just like rest stops or places they're just storing a few boxes of whatever and like a cot or who knows. But it definitely like you get the impression just from what you've gathered so far that the hit for the WSI seems to have pretty heavily incapacitated his organization. Like a lot, like the places that are like Kreia has made note of the places that she got that have been crossed out, and all of them are either warehouses or sort of large open floor areas. Like the only places he has left along the docks are pretty small. Like he's been hit pretty hard by that, which leads into him being so desperate to try and make more of these things happen.
So I think checking out that last area might be a good one,
Okay.
personally.
All right.
Well,
Good
got
idea.
my 2 cents in there.
Okay.
Glare.
I guess fair. So is that a thing that you want to like go for literally as soon as possible? Do you want to maybe contact Hope and tell her what your plan is so she can work accordingly? Maybe see if you can somehow find a way to contact the Inquisitor. So
I'd rather not contact the Inquisitor if possible.
okay.
So, what does everyone else think? What the best choice to do in this case? Mr. Dane.
Let's do it.
Do it. Alright, well, fair enough. I guess probably just get Hope involved just because she also has a vendetta against him. Other than that,
Fair enough.
Do we have like a confirmed location where they're at?
no. But we do know what's left, so that's probably what the best thing to do right here.
You have a list of places you can check, but how irrelevant each one is harder to determine.
All right. Well, The underground part is probably the best one.
I concur.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
So, well, uh, my brain just shut down for a second.
Should we?
Okay, so
How much money do we have? Like across like. We didn't get it. We like didn't get any money like out of anything recently, right? Nobody's paid us
Not yet.
anything.
yeah,
Alright,
you
5 gold.
We're not gonna go get a few potions ahead of time. Insurance policy. I've got my whiskey bottle, but that's about it.
I am my librarian. I don't know what money you think I have.
I have some money. It's not much, but I have some.
Don't we have somebody kind of like sponsoring us to get this done? Like we're not doing this
Yeah,
out
they
of the.
pay us once we get the gun.
yes,
Yeah,
you
once
are
we
being
get the
paid
gun.
to cover the weapon. But
I mean, has the situation changed enough that we could go back to them and be like, hey, we're gonna go into this really dangerous place. There's gonna be a fight.
I mean, I think that was assumed from the start.
I mean, we could probably see about getting more out of it, especially seeing how much things are escalating.
Yes,
Yeah.
things have escalated. The situation has changed. Pray it does not change any further.
I feel like I've heard that before. Is that from a thing?
from Star
no,
Wars.
no Morse.
I don't watch it anymore. But yeah. Okay. So if you want to get in touch with Hope and tell her what your plan is, and or Freya, that can be arranged.
I think that's probably what we do. And with Floss probably wants to adjust the deal.
All right. So
I
you
just
could-
want some assurances that we don't die again.
No one's died. They've just been grievously injured. You have an extra level of hit points and spells or whatever.
Look, I don't know
So
what
do
you're.
you.
I don't know what you're talking about levels and hit points. I'm just a simple bartender, and I got my ass knocked out.
That's fair. Edmund, you could always give Ploss the phone number and let him talk on the phone.
For some reason, you
Library
woke up this
card.
morning feeling you could take twice as many punches as yesterday.
That makes no sense.
I give Floss the card.
Okay. And I will say that also, Edmund, you know how to get in contact with Hope. Just sort of you know the places her people sort of hang around and ways to get information to her. So you can get along to her that you're planning on checking out this underground place. All right. So, plus, you...
So she knows what we're going to be going and doing. Because
Edmund is-
Edmund has talked to her already.
Well, to Hope or Kreia? 'Cause Edmund is going to go talk to Hope right now.
Ploss looks at the dial, gets confused, gets upset, and then says, screw
You know
this,
how to-
let's go.
You know how to use a phone. This is the only. This would be normal to you. This is the only phone that you've ever known could exist.
Ploss doesn't like technology.
Unless, of course, it involves brewing, I guess.
Yeah. Distilling is a very technical process.
Nah, let's just go.
Right then.
If we get chastised later, he's like, why didn't you call me and tell me you needed help? I'm gonna kick myself and then everybody else.
Nah,
From-
that might kill
from the-
Jay.
Court server, like, Okay, Edmund. What exactly do you want to convey to Hope / her people?
We're going to plan to hit his operations in the underground. I think that's one of his last resort locations. It probably means most likely he's either there or a lot of his resources are there, which would be a good place. If we don't knock him out, we will definitely strangle what's left of his stuff and make him weak enough that we could probably handle him if we find him.
That okay. Considering that you're gonna do that, I need to like check something to for memes. Uh, 1 second. They're loading very slowly. Why does it hate me?
I have to go to work tomorrow.
I'm so
Wait, no, I
sorry.
don't. Hold on.
Yay!
Oh, but then again, it was also my board day.
That's true.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, so
Yeah, you are able to. Hope says that you talk to the like you go to a place you know her people sort of hang out, and you are able to talk to one of them and say that like you're able to say that like like tell them that your plan, and they will respond to you with that they will hit a couple other places that are sort of small. Like while you do that, they will at the same time go handle these other bigger places or smaller places, and just see what they can see there. Less sort of like we are going to storm them and raid to get them, but like just peek an eye on there, see if, assuming they're going to be smaller places, that they can handle them because they are like the people that Hope runs with are slightly smarter than the average bear, as it were. So,
okay.
so it'll be they will also first of all maybe catch him off guard, and also maybe get some other resources or information out of the way.
Gotcha.
They will also tell you one other thing. Actually, it's a good thing you did this. That their contact on the inside has something identifiable about them, so they can be recognized easily, and that they specifically wear are like will do their best to wear like a very distinct like sort of like a like a very bright sort of pink like ascot on underneath whatever like on or under whatever clothing they're wearing. Something that
Under
like
their clothing, so we can identify them once they're dead.
not like an ascot is like you have part
Yeah,
under
I
your
know.
shirt. You're being a level of exhaustion. Red dragons.
Let me be able to identify monster dead. That
Okay,
sounds.
that's fucking Swolbo escaped for a moment.
Oh no.
You finish the encounter, like, oh, this must have been an important NPC. Hope I'm not missing out on anything.
Yep. But so basically they say if you see like a young goblin woman wearing this sort of they describe it as being a bit ugly thing around their neck, don't shoot them less.
Noted. I'll be sure to keep this in mind and also share this information with the rest of the party.
Okay. Outside of that, you if there's no other preparations that you want to do, no other like, then you can just go. Okay. And with that being said, I know what I need to get ready for next time.
We are gonna die.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's we're gonna be probably gonna be where I have to call it today, ladies and germs.
Oh,
Okay.
Gotta get ready for next session when we randomly decide. Actually, let's not attack that place we said last.
I swear to God, I swear to fuck, I will remove your bones.
it's not the first time that's happened to me in D&D.
Wait a minute.
I will kill.
I
It's
got things ready.
Okay.
Actually, we think it's an actual bad idea. We'll move on to a different location.
You remember how last said we were gonna murder this entire country? Let's murder a different one instead.
Yeah. Okay. I hereby invoke the law of no takebacks. Yeah.
Haha.
You know, I was thinking that sewer seems kind of dangerous.
Okay. Yes.
Where do we say Frank was hanging
turn the
out?
session into a fucking tavern running simulator.
Yep. Use the Bastion system and just start playing The Sims. Sim City 2000. Yes.
Yeah.
I have to.
Alright,
I have to say the. I have to say the thing now.
Oh,
The 10th.
what about the
That
town?
probably sounds right.
Will everyone be available at that time?
Oh,
Should
Yes.
be.
oh, the 10th.
Yes. Of
That is
June.
my that's my older brother's birthday. I do not know if he has.
you
another
have two
birthday.
of them.
This is Colin's
What?
birthday.
No, they're all the
Okay.
same person.
Despite what you think, my two older brothers are actually very much different.
Yeah.
Bruno,
I
however, do not exist
no,
on the same plane.
Well, I've
Yeah,
never
Dane,
seen
the
you, your
older-
younger brother, or your
No.
older brother in the same
Yeah,
room
Dane,
as you.
I think the older ones exist.
No, you see, here's
So-
here's what happened. Here's what happened, right? Is that these two people, they had a child, and they named one with the letter B. They didn't start with A, but you will never know why. And then they went to C, and they went to D with Dylan. And then they had a fourth one on accident. This is lore. This is real lore. And then they were just like, we'll use D again, and that's why they can't occupy the same space. Like, that's
They
why.
They did not like any of the names that start with E.
What?
It would be weird if he was named just like E. That'd be weird.
I mean, we do have a family member that starts
mean,
with an A. which is
going
our mom,
down-
Andrea.
Going down
That's-
the alphabet is better than me
Is
and my
that it?
brother's lore.
Is
So
that
this
why?
is
Is that
this
why
is
we
our
see? Is that
alphabet
why we
is
didn't
this? A, B, C, D, D,
D
J.
D D J? Oh right, yeah. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, hey, you
It's
know
the
what?
alphabet. A, B, C, D, D, J.
Going down the
That's how it
alphabet's a
works.
whole lot to just naming all of your kids George. So you know.
that's fair.
My
George
parents,
Oh.
with a G, George with a J.
my parents went, he's going to have a common name, and that one's going to have
Yeah.
one that nobody knows how to spell. And by the way, it's going to be one letter off from your dad's name, so everybody's going to confuse the shit out of you.
Yep. Yep.
So I will give the 10th a maybe. I'll have to
Okay.
reconfirm if there's any plans, because if not, I
Alright.
will notify.
Okay. If it changes, then we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'll just go ask my family ASAP and then give an
Okay.
update on what plans are on for the 10th. Because
Just
the 10th is a day where he works, but I don't know if he's
Okay.
going to take a day off.
that's valid.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good to
Good
me.
luck with that.
For the session, it was enjoyable. Nearly died, but it worked out.
What? How did you nearly die from getting a bad Arcana check?
Nah, am I insulting the DM?
Oh yeah, no, that would kill you. Yeah, rocks fall, everyone dies.
Yeah.
Where do the rocks come from? Here in this open skyline?
It's just gonna
Space.
be like
Meteor.
motherfucking,
Meteors from
what,
space.
Oblivion
I've seen
or
Tears of the
Morrowind, where
Kingdom,
there's
they
just
come
a
from
giant fucking
everywhere.
rock covering.
Yes, exactly. It's Morrowind,
Oh.
yeah. It's a rock.
Hey, everything's back to
I mean-
normal. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Jay is a level 2 wizard. He's just in a permanent state of almost dead. So
See,
That's
okay,
true.
One smack that matters.
Yeah.
Now, if I roll shotgun to hit. Oh, thought about damage. Shotgun to hit again.
Hey,
I'm using up all my rolls for the
that-
combat.
that
No,
that
you're
7
you're
would have only
training.
made that 7 would have barely made J blood.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Oh, now he would have